me and Ryan have been officially welcomed to the jungle that is Barstool Sports.
Our white whale, Sidney Crosby.
Shave his head! Shave his head! Shave his head!
Ryan Whitney, Paul Bissonette, R.A., Mike Grinelli, Spittin Chiclets.
What is up, folks? What is up? Welcome very much. Welcome and thank you coming. Thank you for coming to episode 563 of the Spittin Chiclets podcast. I can't speak. I'm excited. My team's moving on. Biz, your team stinks. Keith, you guys are about to move on, but first. Boom!
It's Friday.
My earpiece fell out. I can't even hear what I'm saying. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. But listen, right now, Pink Whitney's where it's at. I was drinking it, celebrating, moving on to the second round. Big old bottle, pink drink. Thank you for coming. I got to put my earpiece back in. And thank you to everyone who's ever drank Pink Whitney, who's ever bought Pink Whitney, who's ever enjoyed it with family members, friends, girlfriends, husbands. My earpieces are broken. My earpieces are broken, so I think I'm going to have to figure out where to go get some new earpieces. They both ripped out. My ears are so big, I can't hear you guys, and I don't have earpieces right now. So why don't you guys start talking while I try to figure this out?
Shout going off the dome.
What a crazy start to the pod.
I mean, it's pretty ironic that I need new earpieces considering I have huge ears. So I don't know what I'm going to do here, guys. I'm in one.
I feel like the Leafs should take a page out of his book and block the noise out, so to speak. Right, Jans?
Yeah.
The way things are going on right now. And before Whit starts talking again, my understanding is you did a local radio hit in Toronto this morning. Like, how did that happen?
I flew up there.
No shit.
Yeah,
live in studio with Kiprios?
Yeah.
He was unloading the clip yesterday.
I know he's had enough. I the last 2 days I did one that before game 5 too. So I just wanted to stick with the same, what got us to where we are. So I actually reached out to see if I could do it.
Oh, did you?
But no, it was good. But yeah, you can tell, man. It's like, I don't know if it's nerves. I don't know if it's people just it's like the world is coming to an end in Toronto, Biz. And I don't get it. I don't like it. It's just still life at the end of the day.
I don't like it either.
I think, what I think really helped your mood is having Oldie by your side. His positivity, he knows.
You mean my life coach?
Yeah. Yeah.
I've hired him as my life coach. And Jans, I agree with you. It's fucking crazy. I would say 99% of Leafs fan base is acting like the series is already over.
I know.
Like, hey, man, I get it. The last 2 games, the Leafs have laid an egg. Their starts have been horrendous going back to game 4 fucking minor penalties. Last game, I think they were outshot 15-16-4. Woll had to stand on his head. Absolute rubbish, brutal performances, mainly from the core 4. I think the culprits right now as far as horrible hockey are Austin Matthews and Marner. They're probably taking the most heat of anyone, given the fact that Nylander has had a pretty solid playoff. I thought that Nyes has obviously been good. Tavares has been solid. But my God, the way that Leafs fans are acting right now, and just
they're right. They have a reason to be acting like this. Come on.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
Hey, he's got his
life
coach. He's got his.
Hey, listen, they should be upset about the performance and not happy with those guys, but acting like the fucking series is over. Like,
why would you not act that way?
Why would you give up before it's over? That's a loser mentality. That's not the fucking heart of it.
You guys are a loser franchise.
You know what? We've earned that title up until this point, but we're still in the fucking fight right now.
You're still in the fight. You're still in the fight.
As Jans pointed out, when you weren't fucking your headphones, if they're not even still working, I had Oldie with me. And you know what? Maybe I would have been a little bit in the dumps today and not as positive coming in here and had a little bit of mojo to fucking continue this fight. But Oldie, man, he's got the right attitude. He's a fucking positive guy, man. He knows that there's still an opportunity to change this thing around. Mitch Marner, it might be his last few games as a Maple Leaf. Is that how you want to go out, Mitch? Is people remembering you for your game 3 blunder, like I talked about last podcast? Your behind the back spinorama in game 5, turnover in the back of your net, 3-0, and then they go on to a 6-1 route. By the way, Jan's posting that Houston's video and them beating us 6-1. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that is just
when you pointed out it was 6-1. I laughed out loud. That tweet was incredible. Like, what are the chances it ends up being 6-1? You know, you had to get that one at the end. That was you just throwing that final punch. That was them. That was you in the parking lot just dodging.
You know what?
Final biz at CVS,
and you know what?
hiding.
Mitch Marner, Matthews, and the rest of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they should take a page out of my book. You should be able to laugh at yourself once in a while, because that performance on home ice was laughable. But guess what? We woke up today. The sun is shining. We're breathing fresh air, and we're alive, baby. We're alive. And this one ain't over. It's not. I know that smirk on your face. You think it's over. And the smirk on Matthew Tkachuk's face at the end of that game when that building was half empty. He thinks it's over too. But I like where we sit. Backs against the wall. Adversity. And I won't get to it yet, but I have a special announcement. Some breaking news on this podcast as to how we're going to turn this fucking series around. But before we get there, go ahead, Jans. Go ahead, Whit. Pepper me with whatever the fuck you got. Give it to me.
I got, like, at the end of the day, Florida had 2 bad games the first 2 games. They go down 2-0. If roles were reversed and Toronto went down 2-0, City would have been burning down. They don't have that luxury that Florida has of just going out, figuring out their game, getting back to where they know how to play, getting back to how they played the last 2 years. They don't have the outside pressure that Toronto has. Toronto drops 2 games. They're up 2-0. They drop 2. World's ending. The world is ending, Biz. So I think, honestly, Toronto should somehow elect Oldie as mayor, have him stand in for the next couple days and calm that city down, because you guys are riding at a 10, and one little thing is going to pop you guys off. If the Panthers somehow go out and score first tonight, the city of Toronto may disappear off the face of the earth.
That's, you know what, Jans, that's actually a heck of an idea, but unfortunately that can't happen, because right now Oldie is in Fort Lauderdale, and that's the breaking news. I have sent Oldie down to Fort Lauderdale, not just by himself, with my lucky yellow shirt, and we will be infiltrating that building tonight in Sunrise, and he is going to bring the positive juju for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's going to be at the Florida Panthers end and warm up with the Leafs in 7 sign, and we're going to pull this victory off on the road, and we're going to drag them back, just like Connor McDavid said. We're going to drag them back to Edmonton. We're going to drag them back to Toronto. I see that look on your face, Whit. I know you weren't expecting this, but all that positive Leaf energy, we're not keeping it, wasting it in Ontario. We're sending it down right into the heart of the fire. We're going into Sunrise.
You could send Wendell Clark, Doug Gilmore, Stumpy Thomas. You could send them all. This thing's done. This thing's over. And I actually respect Oldie, and I respect you for being like, you know, maybe 5% of the fan base. Like, the series isn't over. But those 95% of people and fans of the Toronto Maple Leafs, they know it's over. They've seen this story over and over and over. And they've witnessed big time, highly paid players not show up when it matters. And every good team, every championship team's best players dominate. That's literally the locker room. You're the locker room right now. Yeah, you're Berube. Hey, guys, we got to get the puck in deep.
Did you hear the fucking words?
I don't know how to do that. I got
Did you hear
point.
the
I'm going to throw backhand sauce flying through the middle. I'm the Leafs. We're gods in Toronto. Everyone loves us. I know. I want to get points. I don't want to play hard hockey, Chief. Okay, well, I won a Stanley Cup, and I beat the shit out of people, and I know how to do it. I don't care. I want $13.5 million. I want to be the highest paid player, even though I've never done anything in the playoffs. That's the Leafs. And that's your problem.
Are you
don't have
AirPod Witty.
A core group of players that knows what it takes to win. And you're playing against a team that
You've never
knows
been on a
exactly.
cold streak? Hey, Jans, you
My
never been
whole
on
life.
a cold streak?
My whole life, basically.
41 years.
42. Yeah, I know cold streaks. Now,
Yeah, that was
this
funny.
team,
That was funny.
this team, this team.
We're not getting to the Oilers just yet. You can
Okay,
gloat all
fair.
you
Okay,
want when
Vince,
we're
let me
done.
ask you something serious.
But I don't think you heard the words out of my mouth. Oldie, who some of you who are listening right now are like, who the fuck is Oldie? We'll explain who Oldie is. He's my life coach, my spirit animal. But not only is he going down to Sunrise to bring positive juju to my Toronto Maple Leafs, I sent him with my lucky yellow shirt. We're talking about that thing.
Yeah. What do you mean lucky? That your shirt's on a cold streak.
It's
You gotta wash
undefeated.
it.
It's never been beat in a playoff series before. This series isn't over. I think that you guys have failed to listen to the words that have came out of my mouth. I don't know how many Leafs fans are in the chat that have maybe changed their perspective on what the fuck is actually going on. But if you woke up this morning thinking the sky was falling and that the Leafs are not going to come back in this series, log off. Get the
Oh my God.
Leafs, let go! Game 6 today, boys. That means we buzzing. That means we bumping. That means we grinding. Oh yeah, boys. Full gas. Let's go. 110% today, Leafs Nation. We got the juice flowing.
Look at the six-pack.
The buds are buzzing. Let go, Biz. Show these boys what the Maple Leafs are made of. Let's go, Leafs Nation. We want everyone full gas tonight. Let's go, boys.
Let's go.
Yeah, Yotterdale, we coming. Coming back for game 7.
Is this live? Is that I thought he was on with us.
Oh, he's always on, Whitty. He's always on.
Oh, yeah.
Now, before we continue, I want to throw it over to Yans. So you know Oldie. This is there's history here. He was actually on the PMT live stream for Four Nations where he brought luck to Team Canada. So he has gone down to the US before and brought Canada luck. And that was at the Four Nations. But now this is going to be the big one. This is David versus Goliath. Can he conquer the big one in Lauderdale? Yans, I'll throw it over to you.
I mean, there's a 90% chance he gets himself in a Bud Light headlock at the elbow room and doesn't even show up to the game.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
He
From
might
who?
be on a
Caesar?
boat. He might
From
be
Caesar?
on a boat.
And Biz, you got to realize he's worse than Drake. He's the biggest bandwagon fan in the world. He has more teams than you do. So him just doing this, he's just trying to please you right now.
I thought he was an Oilers fan. He's been writing me about the Oilers.
He's Drake. He's whoever's playing well. He's a fan of, which I respect. I respect his positivity, but he's not a in the trenches ride or die guy like
He
you.
is now. Ever since he fucking shaved that 8-pack, he's part. Hey, do you not get the symbol? He's part of the core 6 now. He's got the 6-pack. He's part. It's not core 5. It's Illuminati. It's all getting connected. He's gonna put the names of each of the core 6 in each ab, and he's gonna add himself to the bottom left one because it's the fattest ab that he has on his body.
Oh, yeah.
I just wonder. Did you see the clip? I don't know if it was when they beat the Bruins record-breaking season, or last year when I think it was the first year when they were down 3-1 to the Bruins, and Maurice is on the bench, and he's like, "Listen up, motherfuckers." Did you see this clip?
Yes.
He's like, "Stop trying to be cute and bang their defensemen and wear them down for game 7." So it had to be that first year. That is exactly what's happened. And Keith brought up that they go down 2-0. Yes, you're going home. The panic is way less. The pressure is way less because you've won the cup and you're in Florida, not in this, city full of losers. I love Toronto people. I mean, as a fan base, they have just worn them down. And what's crazy is they were up 3-1 in game 3 and then went to overtime. In the third period, they're up 3-1. Like, the fact it can switch this quick in the playoffs that shows how crazy this game is. And that actually speaks to you, Biz, being positive. Because why can't it switch back the other way? I just think Florida is too dominant. They're too physical. They're too in your face to allow that to happen. And going home, Jens, are you banging the drum again?
No. You know why? I'm a team player. It's somebody else's turn. You can't score goals every night. You look at the Florida Panthers roster. They got about 10 guys with 8 or so points. Everyone's kind of in the same, area of, points and contribute. Yeah, good word. But you know, they're all right there. And I'm trying to take a page. I'm trying to take a page out of their book and hand it over to somebody else. Let them do what they do and go out there for Game 6 and get a huge win. But Biz, I honestly think the only chance you have of winning this game is if somehow you can get Oldie an ambassador's jacket.
I kept the ambassador's jacket. I wanted to divvy up the luck charm. I'm going to have that on the broadcast. But going back to what Florida's been able to do, they obviously flipped the switch in that second period in Game 3, like you're talking about, Whit. It was 3-1. That they allow that 3-2 goal. That was my frustration with the Matthews-Marner shift where they went over the boards. Like, I had my moment where I'm still going to be positive and root for this team and believe in this team. But if Mitch Marner wants to play hockey the way that he played on that shift, and just like he did in Games 4 and 5, like, they can't win because he's making so much of the money. That's the point that I've been trying to bring up for the past 4 or 5 fucking years. And I thought that with Chief coming in and, different systems and, different habits out there on the ice, that maybe he would have changed his ways a little bit. And me venting my frustration for Mitch Marner and listen, am I happy with the performance from Matthews? Obviously not. We need more from him. Like in Game 5, like down low, lost the battle, clearly not looking like himself. I don't think that his goals have translated to playoff hockey because I think he lacks going to the dirty areas. Like, we talk about it all the time with Ovi. And like, yeah, he used to sit in his spot at the tops of the circles and fucking wail away. And that's how he scored a lot of his goals. But as his career has progressed, he's obviously learned that he has to go closer to the blue paint and do other things in order to find the back of the net, including take punishment. Now, it might come out after playoffs that he's injured. I don't know to what severity, but at the end of the day, Whit and Jans, you guys know, like, playoffs is over, and I would say 95% of the guys in the locker room are banged up to some degree. So I would imagine when Florida won their Stanley Cup, look at the laundry list of injuries that Matthew Tkachuk had, right? So I do think that right now they have to look within and find that dog in them that they've never had before. And at a certain point, you have to find that. Some may say, you're born with that. Because if you look across the way, the players and the personnel that the Florida Panthers have, I feel like a lot of those guys, it was instilled in them from a young age. But my positivity for the Leafs in what they're going to be able to do in Game 6 is not taken away from what Florida has done and flipped the script. Like that Game 5 performance, and I tend to agree with Chief Craig Berube. I don't know if we're going to play the post-game clip about he didn't necessarily think that Florida came harder. I can agree with that. They played such an intelligent road game. They won every 50-50 battle. They stayed in the right positioning. They didn't cheat the game. Just like from the puck drop of the series, they've invested in it. They've continued to hit the fucking D again and again and again and inflict punishment. Exactly like the clip that you referenced when you were talking about Florida a few years ago. Oh, you want to play cute? Fuck that. Invest, put their fucking D through the end wall, and slowly but surely they've taken over this series. So Leafs need to take a fucking page out of their book, start finishing some fucking hits, or at least more of them, and get fucking winning hockey. Here's Chief talking about it after the game.
The guys are talking about resetting in the next 40 hours or so, whatever it is. Yeah. How do you do that if you have a fairly good idea that the Panthers are going to come just as hard as they did just now?
Well, I don't think they came any harder than they have, to be honest with you. I think we let them come tonight. Well, we stood around and watched. You can't do that. So, we responded in the past, and I expect a response from our team, and we'll talk about things and, make some adjustments that are needed. But it's more of a mindset for me going into this Game 6 than anything else. It's not X's and O's. We know what they're doing, and they played a simple game tonight, and they were excellent at it. Very good. I mean, they did exactly what they needed to do. And up to this point tonight, it's been a good series. And tonight was a tough game.
Biz, what if I'm a Leafs fan, what upsets me, obviously the entire Game 5, disaster. But the first, they were turning it on, and they were all over him, and Ekblad gets that goal. Unreal shot. but you get out of the first period 1-0. No problem. Like
I
we
was
didn't have our best.
so pleased with that. The fact that we got out of that only down 1-0, Wolfstone at his head, and just like the game prior where they were only down 1-0 after taking 4 minors in the first period, manageable. Like just show up the next 40.
No doubt. And then they come out, okay, and Lawton, brutal bounce. I mean, he's trying to block a shot, hits his stick. Like I'm sure there's fans that don't really get the game that kind of blame him for that, but that's just total shit luck. We've seen at least 10 goals in the playoffs go off the players on the other team. But after that goal, 2-0, and maybe part of it is we haven't scored on Bob in 4 periods now. We're now down 2-0, which means we need 3 against them. Yeah, that's all stuff that could pop into your head. But buddy, it was it. It was over. The body language, the lack of effort, like 2-0, dude. 2-0's not insurmountable anymore.
Well, did you see how they scored the third one?
Yeah.
Like that, to me, just like in game 3, when you get thrown over the boards and you need to get the momentum back and stop the bleeding, what did Mitch Marner do? People think I'm picking on him, bro. Have you not?
I want to ask you something.
Have you not watched him play playoff hockey when it gets hard? It's fucking insane to me. It's insane to me that someone's going to pay him $13 million. It's insane to me. I don't genuinely give a fuck about your 100-point regular season. Like, congrats, great milestone. He'd hit 99 points twice. But, buddy, like, that's how you're going to show up when your team needs you the most? Like, how can you walk around thinking that you are worth that much money? It's crazy. It's crazy to me. People think that he deserves a Selke trophy. Reinhart makes $9 million. Do you ever watch Reinhart play hockey? It's incredible.
He made the dish. He made the dish to Boquist on that goal.
It's fucking insane to me. So yeah. I'll throw up. Was that what you were going to ask about?
Yeah, and what I was going to ask was, there seems to be part of the fan base that is like, people pick on Marner. And yeah, Matthews definitely deserves more blame. I think this year, injuries are injuries. Like, if it comes out the guy needs fucking wrist surgery or whatever it is, yeah, you get it. But the people who really sit there and defend Marner over and over, I'm wondering, like, what are you watching? Like, what do you see that in your mind people aren't bringing up, that this is unfair? Because I don't know. Like, I see a play like that, and then I see a coach like Berube who's got to be like, I can't play this guy. I can't play him. I have to play him because he's, one of our best offensive players. But if every time the moment gets big, you wilt and you throw the puck away and you don't play hard and you don't get inside guys, like, how do I keep putting you over the boards? Like, Nylander is the one. Talk about a guy who's cool, calm, and collected. He gives a fuck. Yeah. He was the only player I saw that, and Nyes is like at least trying to forecheck, but when you're forechecking alone, like nothing's gonna happen. It's 5-man units. That's what Florida does. The fucking forwards go in, they physical, the deep pinch, the third forwards high. They don't give up odd man rushes. You can't do that if you're Toronto when you have guys that aren't bought into what you're trying to do. It's literally impossible to win like that. So
I agree, buddy. And we've obviously spent a lot of time on the Toronto Maple Leafs so far. The depth,
the Cats are what we know the Cats are.
We know what the Cats are, and Jans, the depth. I think they threw 4 new guys in game 3 or 4. I think it was Boquist, Greer, who's the nail gun, Gadzovich. Yeah. And then I think it was Nosek, and they got goals from each of those guys. So it's just, they're a well-oiled machine. The guys that they throw in the lineup who are the 5th liners end up making just as big of an impact as the big boys. Like, they come at you in waves. And I think that that's really what Toronto has lacked. I don't know if they've drafted specifically to develop those positions at all over the last, 5, 6, 7 years. And it's noticing, like, to me, Nick Robertson, hey man, yeah, he's a fast skater and he brings a lot of energy, but like, what the fuck is Nick Robertson going to do? He got reinserted.
Scored.
I thought it was bullshit that fucking Holmberg got taken out. I thought he's been one of their more consistent forwards. That's a bullshit move, in my opinion. He needs to be back in. I get that Camp came in and he was okay, but fucking throw Holmberg on the wing then. Like, why? Nick Robertson, what the fuck has he done? He can. I think he scored the one and only goal, but like at that point, I don't give a fuck about that. I care about fucking finishing some fucking hits and getting to the net front and being an actual fucking pest out there. So it's not good, but Mitch Marner, assuming that this is going to be his last playoff round, if they lose with the Toronto Maple Leafs, he has an opportunity to leave his mark on this organization the way that he wants to be remembered. And if he wants to be remembered for game 3, fucking 1-on-4, turning it over, no look pass behind the back, going back the other way, and then that dog shit play that he makes in his own end, not supporting his teammate, Mr. Selke nominee, or should be, excuse me, and then the behind the back fucking flu play to allow the 3rd goal at home in game 5. If that's the shit that you want to be remembered for when you sucked all the money away from the team, by all means, man, blame the city, too hard to play. I'm going to go move on to greener pastures. But at the end of the day, when the hockey gets hard, Marner doesn't.
Biz,
and
you know what?
Tree living. Sorry, Keith, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say about the Florida's depth. I wouldn't even say, I mean, obviously they're a deep team and have, players that can contribute. But any other team, when you have to put in a guy to play on your first line, most teams will bring a guy up from the second line or the third line. But with how good Barkov is, they can put anyone on his line. So a guy who hasn't played like Boquist can just come in and play on that line, and he's going to be effective, which I think all the credit goes to Barkey with just the way he can make players better. You ask any guy who's ever played with him, like he's put so many people on the map. He's extended guys' careers. Like he played with Yogs when Yogs couldn't even skate. He extended his career. What he did for Hubert over Haggy, just any guy who ever plays with him just shines. So I think he deserves a lot of that credit because you don't have to, jumble up all the other lines. You can just put whoever you want with him. You could put me or you out there with him right now, and that line would still be effective just because the way he can carry it and be good offensively and defensively. So a lot of credit goes to him with that, and obviously with Maurice knowing that and not having to move guys up a line, get them away from because if they have to split up that third line, which I think has been the best line all series, most teams would have had to do that. Put Marchie on the first line, then you're messing up 2 lines. So I think the way Maurice handles his lines and the players is unbelievable. They're getting contributions from everyone. So yeah, it's a fun series. It's fun watching them. The way that they just impose their will on them, like the forecheck, and like you were talking about with Robertson. It's every guy, man. Every guy is finishing checks. Every guy's giving it 100%. They're not trying to make these crazy hope plays. They make plays when they're there to be had, but they're not just, out there to try to make something happen when it's not, because they know it's playoff hockey and one little mistake can cost it. And they did that the first 2 games. Sorry.
They did. And dude, I mean, I went to the finals as a 5th, 6th defenseman on a finals team. We didn't win, but it is hard, dude. It is so hard to play hockey this time of year. And there's some guys who just have it in them, and then there's some guys who don't. And that's why I bring up Tree Living, because he knew we can't win with Mitch Marner. We can't win the Stanley Cup. We can light up the regular season, and that's why he went out and he had a deal in place for Mikko Rantanen. He knew. And Marner has every right in the world to use his contract to block that, but he knew. And that's why it's like fans can't be that shocked when the GM come trade deadline is like, there's just no chance that we can win with this group. We need somebody who's done it. We need somebody who's big and strong and hard on the puck when the hockey gets so goddamn difficult that some people just can't handle it. And so you're witnessing that right now. Now, Biz, yes, it's not over. If I'm a Leafs fan, I'm trying to remain positive. I get where the people are coming from that are throwing jerseys. I wouldn't throw a jersey, but buddy, you paid for the jersey. You do whatever you want with it. All I want to see tonight is some fucking fight, man. Some fight. Even if you go down 1-0, you cannot wilt. Now, if they lose this game in the end, it doesn't matter. They lost in 6. But if they lose this game 3-2, and it's an incredible effort, it's at least then it's like
That's all I'm
they have
asking
some
for.
jam in them. Yeah, that's all you're
I'm
asking for.
Some
That's
heart,
all fans want,
some
man.
guts.
That's why fans got on me everywhere I went, because there was many nights that it looked like this guy doesn't care. I did. I was just soft, and I didn't have what it took to play at a high level when the going got tough. I didn't block shots. I didn't do things that these players who are on winning teams always are doing, playing injured. But I get why fans are frustrated, but they just want effort. They just want you to be at least looking like you care. And that's the thing with the Leafs is last year, dude, they're down 3-1. They get to overtime at Game 7. They cared. They were one shot away. But this team, fuck, you go up 2-0, and you have a great first period on the road, Game 3, and then since then, I literally don't know what team we're watching. So how does that happen? And as a fan base, you're wondering the same thing. Like, I fucking love these guys, and they're not showing me shit. So I don't blame them being upset. Where's Barkley? I want to talk to Chuck.
Biz, I was talking to.
Can you tell people who old he is, by the way, who were sending in, how you met him? For those of like people are watching right now who don't know who old he is and why he's going to bring the Leafs back a Game 7 victory at home.
Yeah, I'm not going to say because I don't want him to win.
You're not going to talk
I'm
about him?
Say then.
No. Okay.
You want to talk about him?
Oldie is Rick Nash's best friend. And Keith first met him before a playoff game, I believe, for the Rangers. He came bombing into the locker room. Was he naked? Was he naked dancing?
No, he had like spandex with like his no shirt on, painted chest, painted back, face paint, bedazzled hat. Mind you, his wife was in labor.
So he skipped the birth of his kid to get the boys going. That's the type of morale and sacrifice that the Toronto Maple Leafs need, folks. That's why it's coming back for Game 7. That's why I sent Oldie down to Sunrise with my lucky yellow shirt. We're bringing it home. As negative as the conversation turned after my positive beginning, this one's coming back to Toronto, folks. It's coming back.
I'm going to ask him, but I'm going to ask you first, and you have a chance to tell the truth. Did you send him first class?
I didn't book his flight. I just sent it to Jeff to take care of. I
don't even think he would want first class, Keith.
I think I put him in a crate underneath the plane.
Also, Biz,
we put him in a cargo plane in a cage. That's the type of energy that
it was in a package on a FedEx plane. There's a chance that like 50-50, he shows up painted head to toe in Panthers colors. Like he could meet somebody in Lauderdale and be like, I love this. I love this fan base. I'm gonna get Panthers.
I don't think he would turn on the Leafs like that. I don't think so, unless Jans has done something very diabolical. He also has this like loose skin right here on each side of his body, and he calls it the pocket pussy, and it kind of like hangs out of his jean shorts. So I'm not sure what he's going to be wearing tonight, but it's definitely an interesting look. The video that he posted where you could see his pocket pussy the most is the most viewed video he has. So people are obsessed with it. So maybe, just maybe, we can get him on the glass for warm up on the Florida's end and distract them enough with the pocket pussy to then maybe throw Bobrovsky off so he looks more like games 1 and 2. I don't know what he's got planned for Leafland, but at the end of the day, he's going to bring it home, and I'm so happy that he's on our side. My life coach, Oldie. And before we bring on Chuck, was there anything else we should talk about Panther or Leaf related? I mean, Kyprios has been on Marner for a while now. He had some interesting comments. I don't know if we have the video clip that we want to post of that. Jay Rosehill, who will be getting on the podcast next week. At least that's the plan. He's been very critical of Mitch and a few of the boys, but it's ugly in Leafland right now, and people want blood. But I think that at the end of the day, calmer heads prevail. Remember, calm, cool, collected. Bring it home.
All right. Well, before we get to Chuck, we got to talk about body armor, boys. This episode is brought to you by the Body Armor Sports Drink. Look at these bottles. Peach mango, light, strawberry banana. Body Armor has great tasting flavors with no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners. If you need to be hydrated, if you need to feel better, Body Armor. We got these bottles, the taste, everything's phenomenal. It's a bold new look with the same great taste. Get your Body Armor today at a Walmart or a local grocery store near you. Body Armor. Choose better. You know who drinks Body Armor?
Oldie.
Chuck. Charles Barkley drinks hot Body Armor. Look
What's
at
up,
this guy.
brothers?
What's up,
There
Chuck?
he is.
Hey, hey, let me tell you something. Man, I'm so excited about today. Shout out to Ovi Ovechkin. Great year, breaking the record. I watched it. So I was at a sports bar last night because I had to watch 2 games. I'm going to do the same thing tonight, I might add. Shout out to Ovi. What a great year, breaking the great ones record. And shout out to the Denver Nuggets. We got a game 7 coming up Sunday, man. I can't believe it. And tonight I got to go out. Hey, Biz, relax, man.
I'm relaxed.
We're gonna win tonight.
That's
we're going back.
us.
We're going back to Toronto for Game 7. I'm not sure what happened the other night. That was just bad. But we're gonna win Game 6 tonight. My boy Austin Matthews is gonna score. It's gonna be a blowout too. Gonna be a blowout.
Whoa.
Whoa.
What you smoking, Chuck?
You know, I haven't been smoking, but they're gonna win tonight. I can't wait to watch the game. Tonight is a big night. If you like sports, you got Game 6 tonight, and you got Game 6 tonight in New York, Boston. Tonight is a big night. I cannot wait to go out. I'm gonna have a few cocktails, quite a few, I might add, but I'm going to a sports bar tonight so I can watch both games. This is a big night, brother. It's a big night. I can't wait. If you like sports, if you really like sports, tonight is a big night. That game, Florida, Toronto, Boston, New York, it doesn't get any better. I cannot wait for tonight. I'm not going to lie. Last night was fun. Tonight is magnificent.
Chuck, you said it's going to be a 4-1 or 4-0 final. And what makes you believe that they're going to bounce back like that and bring it back to Toronto?
You know, Toronto is my favorite city in the world. I'm not sure what happened the other night. That was a bad thing. But you're going to find out a lot about your people. This ain't got nothing to do with the game of hockey. Tonight is about, this is the most important game. It's probably, in fairness, it's probably the most, and like I say, I was listening to y'all a little bit earlier. We don't have to win the game, but we got to make this like a real game. We got to, this is the most important game in probably everybody's life, because if you don't compete tonight, if you do not compete tonight, this says a lot about your competitive balance in your life. Yeah, we can lose. We can lose. They might lose. But this is all about, you know what? Let's let people know we were in the building. So I think this is a big night for all the guys on the Leafs. I really do. I truly mean that. I always tell guys, we don't have to win, but we have to let people know we actually gave a shit about our team. I mean that sincerely.
Chuck, you look at a game like this, and like you said, it's a career-defining game for some guys. And Whit touched on it earlier. Some guys are born with that dog in them, and some guys aren't. If you're not one of those guys, which it kind of looks, and I love Mitch Marner, but his playoff performance, it doesn't really look like he has that dog. Do you think it's something as an athlete that you can just turn on like that, and you're like, hey, you know what? It's Game 6. I gotta bring it tonight, and I gotta be that dog, even though you're not born with that in your DNA.
Well, number one, that's a great question. Listen, we have this conversation all the time. I said the difference between Michael, LeBron, and Kobe. First of all, they're 3 of the greatest players ever. But LeBron's a nice guy. Nobody ever said that shit about Michael and Kobe. Nobody ever said, man, that Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant, they're nice guys. Nobody ever said that shit. Michael and Kobe they were dangerous. They'd kill your ass. LeBron's great, but he's a nice guy. He had to learn to be competitive because the killer instinct is not something like I've never, and Michael was one of my best friends ever. And I got to know Kobe a little bit. They will kill you to win. LeBron, he wants to win. He wants to win. But LeBron at the end of the day is a really nice guy. So you can't learn to be a natural born killer, but you can learn to be like, hey, I want you to know I was throwing fists with you. Now you might kick my ass, but I want you to know you've been in a fight. So as far as Mitch and those guys, like I say, they don't have to win, but the Panthers need to know, like, yeah, we can't take these guys for granted. We need them to know they've been in a damn dogfight. So I guess I'm not sure. I want to answer your question honestly. I don't think everybody's born a natural born killer, but everybody has a situation where, like, hey, you're gonna kick my ass, but I want you to know you've been in a fight. Yeah, I need you to know, yeah, I'm not sure I can beat you, but I'm gonna, as we say where I'm from, I'm gonna try your ass. I'm gonna try you. So that's really the game tonight. And the reason that's really important tonight, because of that dud in game 5, I'm not like, I was sitting there watching that game because we were on, and Biz knows we always have hockey and basketball on. And I'm sitting there watching that game. I'm like, damn, that can't happen under any circumstances. You need somebody to know, like, damn, we're in a real fight right here. And that's all I tell people. That's all I ask of my athletes. That's all I ask. Listen, hey, everybody wants to win the championship, but I can say this about myself. I ain't never quit. I ain't never quit.
Did you ever have a moment where you had to call out a teammate? Like, because that's what you wonder about the Leafs. Is there anyone in that room, not the coaches, players, that is telling guys, like, wake the fuck up? Personally, did you have to get guys going occasionally, or was that something that maybe didn't happen in your locker rooms?
No. That's part of being a leader. Like, hey, we ain't got time for no sensitivity. We ain't got no time for BS. Like, that is, so I'll tell you this. So we went away for a week before the playoffs just to get ready. So, and he actually just passed away. Oliver Miller, rest in peace. Great dude. We're going to miss him. So we go away for training camp for a week because back in the day, you used to get a bye if you had the best record. So we go to Prescott, Arizona. And Oliver is screwing around. This is my first year in Phoenix. I said, Oliver, I said, yo, quit screwing around. We're going to the finals and we're going to play the Bulls. I says, I think I'm the best player in the world. I says, I need you to focus. And he gives me a bunch of shit and we end up fighting. And I said, yo, man, I apologize for punching you. And I was in the wrong, true story. I said, yo, man, I came to Phoenix to win the championship. I don't have time for BS right now. And you are screwing around. We came here a week. We got a week to get ready for the playoffs. And he was screwing around, and I ended up punching him. And I want to make it clear, I was 100% wrong. He just passed away like a month ago. But I was like, part of being a leader, you have to call people out. You have to call people out. And, you know, he was a great kid, but I was like, yo, man, this is my first time I got a team good enough to get to the finals. So to answer your original question, like I said, yo, man, to be a leader, you got to do it. You got to do it, plain and simple.
But for them and outside looking in, obviously, they're big dogs, you know, the guys who are getting paid the most. They don't play with that edge that you have to play with in playoffs, right? So for my question, it's like, who's calling them out in the locker room? Because when you're, and it happens in every sport, especially in a market like Toronto, where these guys, they're looked at like they're gods, right? So my question is, who in that locker room is going to call them out? And obviously you're a superstar player and, you know, the best player on that team and, you know, one of the best to ever do it. But I think in that crew, it's got to come from a third, fourth line guy. But are those guys going to, you know, take that well? Are they going to listen to it, you know?
You know, number one, you're 100% correct. What I would love to have seen the other night, one of those guys. Remember when Messier came out, like, yeah, we're gonna go and we're gonna win this game and we're gonna win the series. I would have loved. Now, you're gonna look like a total fucking idiot if it doesn't work. Okay, let's get that out the way. What I would have loved for one of their stars to come out and says, hey guys, I apologize for what happened tonight. That's not Toronto. That's not the Leafs hockey. But we're going to go down to Sunrise and we're going to win game 6. I'll give you an example. So we're the number 1 seed in the West, excuse me. We get shocked at home in game 1 and game 2. It would have probably been one of the biggest chokes in NBA history. We lose the first 2 games at home. And I'm devastated. This is my first year in Phoenix. I said, hey, we're going to the Phoenix. We're going to play the Bulls for the championship. So we lose the first 2 games. The Lakers shock us. And I'm sitting in the locker room, and I'm like, I don't even know what to say to the guys. And so Paul Westphal, rest in peace, does a press conference. He says, guys, give the Lakers their flowers. They won the game, but we're going to go and win the next 3 games. I don't even know he's saying this. And obviously, me being who I am, I got 25 reporters rushing toward me. And I'm trying to figure out how to spin this. I'm not going to lie, because I'm in shock a little bit. The guy says, hey, Paul Westphal said, you guys are going to go to L.A., win the next 2 games. Then y'all going to come home and win the game. And people going to say what a great series it was. And I'm like I say, my head, like I'm trying to figure out how to spin this to the press. They run toward me. Everybody says, I says, Coach is right. We're going to go to L.A. We're down 2-0. We're going to win the next 2. We're going to come home and win it in 5. And people going to say what a great series it was. I wish the other night somebody on the Maple Leafs had said, yeah, tonight was a bad night. Tonight was a really bad night. We should never lose a game 5-0, because it really was. They scored that late goal, which I don't even count that. But we're going to go down to Florida. We're going to win. We're going to come back and win. I would have, like I say, now you could look like a fool. I want to make that perfectly clear.
Well, they couldn't look any dumber than they look right now, Chuck.
I know, but that's my point. I wish one of the leaders would have said that. Say, hey, you know what? I apologize for what just happened, but we're going to go down to Florida and win a game, and we're coming back and we're going to win in 7. I would have loved for one of those guys to say that instead of being, because I saw the interviews after the game. I saw it with the coach. Like they were defeated at that moment. But hey, man, the series is not over. It's not over at all.
Chuck, I was just going to kind of switch gears here away from just Toronto and Florida specifically. Like, you've obviously been a huge advocate of hockey. Like, you've been very vocal about it. You follow the playoffs religiously. What is it about hockey that Oilers?
Hey, I told you the Edmonton Oilers were going to win the Stanley Cup. I actually had them playing the Maple Leafs, but the Oilers are going to win the Cup. But to answer your question,
Thank you, Chuck.
Hey,
he's the Oilers guy.
Hey, I'll say this, Biz. I admire and respect hockey players. Let me tell you why. They don't have all the bullshit that goes on in the NBA. Those guys are committed to winning the Stanley Cup, which it should be. Like, if you play sports, your only objective is to be to win. That's all that matters. I don't care who makes. So let me tell you a story. So my first year in Phoenix, we only wanted to win the championship.
Oh,
I
you get
sit the
call?
guys down. I did. I said, guys, we're gonna go to the championship and we're gonna play the Bulls. And they're like, how you know that? I said, because I'm the best fucking player in the world. Michael Jordan's great, but I just needed some help. I said, I think I'm better than Michael Jordan, which every great player should think he's just as good as everybody in the world. I says, I think I'm the best fucking player in the world, and I just needed some help. I got out of a shithole in Philly. I just needed some help. I says, we're gonna play the Bulls for the championship. I said, I'm the best player in the world. And I says, we're going to the finals. And obviously we got there and the Bulls beat us. And it was actually interesting because I remember going home and talking to my daughter after game 2, because I let us down in game 1. Because the moment was too big for my team in game 1, and they cracked under pressure, and I didn't lead. But, okay, so that's on me. I take responsibility for that. But in game 2, I was like, nah, y'all better jump on my damn back. We're going to win game 2. So I had like 42, something like that. Wow. Then Michael had like 52. And I was like, I remember going home and my daughter was crying. She said, Dad, you told me y'all were going to win. And I remember telling her, I says, I got to be honest with you. That guy's better at basketball than me. I says, I'm not giving up. But I said, I've never said somebody was better in basketball than me, because obviously it's a team game. But I said, he is actually, because I played as well as I could in game 2, and he played better. And I was like, my daughter's name is Christiana. I said, Christiana, I've never told you this before. I said, Larry Bird's great, Magic Johnson's great, Karl Malone's great, Patrick Ewing's great. But I says, me and Patrick didn't have any help. But Bird had McHale and Parrish and Dennis Johnson. And I said, Magic had Kareem, James Worthy, Byron Scott, all those guys. I said, that's the difference. But when I got a chance to play against Michael mano a mano, like I say, I played as well as I could. I had like 40, 18, but he had like 50-something, 8. And like, I said, damn. But I was trying to console my daughter. I said, damn, there's somebody better at basketball than me. Because I had willed our team. Because even game 7 against Seattle, I had 45-25. I'm like, no, we're not going to lose tonight. I never had 45 and 25 in a game before. But I said, if I got one game to win, I'm going to will us. So in game 7 against Seattle, you get to the finals, I had 45-25, something like that. But when I played against Michael in game 2, I was like, we're not going to lose tonight. We can't lose the first 2 games at home. But so, man, you at some point, you got to find a way. You got to just find a way. Like, if I'm the Leafs tonight, I'm coming out, I'm punching somebody in the face. I am Verhaeghe, Kachuk, Barkov. I'm gonna do something uncharacteristic to mess this thing up, because what we're doing is not working. What we're doing is not working. If I'm a leader, Tavares got to do something like, you know what? I got to set the tone. Like, okay, give an example. Like in the Four Nations thing, when they just dropped the gloves in the first couple minutes, you got to do something. You got to do something, because your other tactics are not working. I'm telling you, man, I cannot wait to watch the game tonight. Like I say, I can't wait to watch. I got to go to a sports bar because I want to watch the hockey and I want to watch the basketball, because there's going to be so much pressure on the Knicks tonight. Because if the Knicks do not win tonight, they're not going to win damn game 7. And I feel the same way. I'll be honest with you. I feel the same way about the Panthers. They got to win that series tonight, because they're not going to win game 7 in Toronto.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. What a
what I'm
crazy
saying.
idea. The thought of beating Toronto in game 7. That's impossible.
No, I'm telling you, if they don't, I think, and like I say, I said the same thing on television. If the Knicks do not win tonight, they're not going to win Game 7 in Boston. And I feel it's 100% the same way. If the Leafs do not win tonight, if the Panthers don't win tonight, they're not going to, like, there will be so much momentum and pressure on them going back to Toronto. So
Agreed, Chuck.
Yeah,
I agree
I'm
with
telling
you.
you, man.
Don't listen to these idiots.
They could be win tonight, the Leafs, and be up 5-0 in the third period of Game 7, and they're losing. So
First of all, you
understand
that shit because you understand that shit because you got an Oilers hat on. Relax, brother. Relax. Okay. Relax.
Yeah,
I'm
you hear
waiting
that?
to talk about my
Relax.
team.
Hey, relax. You guys.
Before
First
we
of all,
talk
that was
about
so exciting the other night. That was so exciting.
I saw you celebrate. I saw you celebrate when Kapanen put that one in to end the series.
So I always have hockey, and like I say, the reason I admire hockey, which was your original question, man, they don't have the bullshit that goes on in the NBA. They don't have super teams. They don't have guys load managing. They just want to win the Stanley Cup. That's the way, and listen, every time I say this shit, all these assholes on TV get mad because they think you're the old get off my lawn guy. The only thing should matter is trying to win. In my day, we didn't worry about who was making the most money. We didn't worry about who was playing. I think my original point I want to make, so my first year in Phoenix, I get the guys together. I said, guys, we're going to the finals. We're going to play the Bulls. They're like, how you know that? I said, because I'm the best fucking player in the world. Michael Jordan's great. I'm going to give him his flowers, but I think I'm just as good. Now I got you guys. We're going to play the Bulls for the championship. And my first year in Phoenix, everything goes great. All we care about is winning. It was pretty cool and amazing. And I remember the next year, we lost to the Bulls, obviously. The next year, I remember I'm sitting down with the owner, and I says, I'm not sure we're gonna make it to the finals again. He's like, why do you say that? We got one of the best teams in the NBA. I said, yeah, but these guys now, they're different. Because I'm in the locker room. I says, well, the one guy is complaining like, well, what's the name makes more money than me. One guy's complaining like, I should be starting. I should be playing more. If you're going to win, you can't worry about how much money other guys are making. You can't worry about playing time. You can't worry about who's starting. And I remember telling the owner that. I says, the team is different. Because with success, everything changes. It's like, I should be starting. Well, dude, you came off the bench. You're playing great. Shut the fuck up. Then you got I should be making more money than this guy. I said, well, first of all, let's get one thing fucking straight. Kevin Johnson and Dan Marley are making more money than me. I don't complain. I just want to win the championship. That's all I care about. But when guys started complaining about who's making more money, who's not playing, you're never going to win. Because if you're going to win, you have to be all in. And that's the thing I admire and respect about hockey players. You never hear them complain about load management. You never hear them complain about playing time. So that's why I love hockey, to be honest with you guys.
I love that. Quick side note. I was going to ask you, you mentioned MJ a couple times and his killer mentality. He's going to be joining NBC, I believe I read. Like he's going to be doing some television. Were you surprised to hear that? And how much do you think he's actually going to be doing the TV thing?
I'm more surprised that you said you read.
Yeah. Chuck, don't fucking laugh at this guy. Don't do me dirty like that, Chuck.
Hey, Biz, I'm with you, brother. I'm with you, Biz. Ain't nobody can come between us. Let's get that out the way. So I think I have no idea what Michael's going to do. I don't think he's going to do a lot. Well, first of all, I know he's not going to do a lot. I was 100% shocked, but I don't think he's going to do a lot, period. I really don't. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's because the Grove shut down for 8 months. He's got nothing to do.
Well, he's probably trying to fix the Grove because, he made the Grove where you have to be able to hit the ball left or right. He's trying to fix the fairways so people who play a hook can play there.
Yeah.
Remember, like I got a lot of golf friends, obviously, and they're like, every Jack Nicklaus golf course he makes it where you can hit the ball left or right. And if you're a hooker, he puts the trees so far over you can't play your hook. So Michael's probably at the Grove, if it's closed down, he's probably trying to make it even more a left or right golf course.
Love it.
Chuck,
Wait.
thank you so much. I don't know, Biz, do you have anything else for this legend?
Yeah, I mean, not really. I was just kind of wondering anything else hockey-wise you've noticed. I mean, Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina Hurricanes shutting teams down defensively. You got Oilers who are who surprised the Vegas Golden Knights. What do you make of the Dallas Winnipeg series? Like, what's catching your eye hockey wise outside of McDavid and McJesus and the Oilers?
So obviously, I picked the Oilers to win the Stanley Cup. We did a really nice thing with Liam. I actually had Toronto winning this series, to be honest with you, on my board.
You still do somehow.
No, but I still got the Oilers winning the Stanley Cup. But I will tell you this. If you go back and look at this Toronto-Florida series, and Biz was in the other night, I says, man, if the Panthers win this series, it's all about Bob. Because if you go back and look, there was probably 5 to 7 chances that Toronto in games 3 and 4, when Nylander got a breakaway that could have changed the series, made it 3-1 in either game 3 or 4. But Bob was so freaking amazing. And he's been amazing again. But I thought he's the reason Toronto is down in this series. But I still feel good about my pick because, these idiots over here in the United States trying to impose tariffs on Canada. That's why the cup is going back. The cup is going back.
That's what I'm saying.
Because
of all the
I
tariff
knew we'd get to the
bullshit.
tariffs.
Hey, the tariff bullshit is BS. You're not going to be the 51st state. You're not going to be the 51st state. But let me tell you something. The cup is going back to Canada. Plain and simple. Go Oilers.
Hey, what the fuck?
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for coming on the show.
Chuck, are you
Thank
still
you for
drunk?
rooting on the
Go
Oilers.
Oilers.
Hey, we
Wait,
love you.
Hey, Biz, what's your question?
I said, are you still?
Oh, I thought he.
Where'd you go?
Hey, Biz, did you ask me, am I still drunk?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I got a hangover. If you're going to ask, your first question is, am I drunk? If I got a hangover, that means I was drunk yesterday, not today.
And you're getting drunk today, too.
I got a hangover. Yeah, because I had an off night, and I went out and got drunk all night, and this is the only thing I got. I played golf. So I was on the golf course yesterday. It was a perfect day. I played golf, I smoked cigars, and I got drunk. Then I got drunk last night watching basketball and hockey. And you know what I'm going to do today? I'm doing the Spittin Chiclets, which y'all guys got an amazing podcast. So then I'm going to go back to bed. I'm going right back to bed. Then I'm going to get up, and I'm going to get drunk and watch hockey and basketball again. It's a perfect day.
You got any draws on right now, Chuck?
I burned all my drawers like 30 years ago. I never wear underwear.
You don't wear underwear, Chuck?
No,
I never wear, well, first of all, I'm black. We call them drawers. Okay? We don't call them underwear. We call them drawers. So I burned about probably 35 years ago. I had a bonfire in the backyard, and I burned all my drawers. So I never wear underwear. So I'm going to go back to bed for probably an hour or two. Then I'm going to get up. I think I might go get a massage.
Okay.
And after that, I might go hit some golf balls. It's a long day. But then I'm just going to watch Game 6 and Game 6. That's all I'm going to do today. Absolutely
Chuck,
nothing.
what's the drink?
Chuck.
Is it tequila on the rocks?
Yeah, what do you drink? What do you suck back?
Oh, baby.
Oh, he's got his own vodka. That's right.
So I got my own vodka.
So does Whit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I keep them here when I do podcasts.
That's
So
wit.
I've
I
been
got
this
my
drunk
own
on a
vodka.
pod too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do a lot of Redmond vodka. I got a gin too. I got a gin. Oh,
What are you,
that's
Ryan
vodka.
Reynolds?
Yeah, I'm trying to make. Well, he sold his for like $600 million. I would like to do that just for the record. So I'm gonna drink a lot of vodka. At some point, I'm gonna go to tequila because I love great tequila. So I'm gonna start out after. I think I'm gonna get a massage and I'll probably hit some golf balls. But my whole day is gonna revolve around Celtics, Knicks, Leafs, Panthers.
And Chuck, last question. Who did you play against in the finals your first year in Arizona?
The Bulls. Michael Jordan, overrated, flash in the pan. I never thought Michael was gonna make it. He was a flash in the pan. Yeah. So we lost to the Bulls. We lost to the Bulls in 6.
You're a
really?
fucking beauty,
How many
dude.
points you have in Game 7 against Seattle?
45.
45 and 25, I think.
That's unbelievable.
You know what's crazy about that? So you talk about being the leader of a team. So one of my good friends is a guy named Frank Johnson. So I pulled him aside. We're flying back to Phoenix for Game 7. And I said, hey, what do I need to say to this team to get us ready for Game 7? He says, you don't have to say shit. This is a true story. He says, you fucking been telling us all year you're the best player in the world. I need you. He says, all you got to do, we're going to follow you. That goes back. Somebody in that locker room got to say, hey, boys, let's go out here tonight and let's get it done. And that's really important. Whether it's Nylander, Matthews, Marner, Tavares, one of those guys got to say, hey, guys, all that shit he got on the board, it don't fucking matter. It don't matter. Because, like, you done played 100 games, basically. Now, we played this team 5 times. Ain't nothing he can write on the board. So, Frank, we're flying back. I said, Frank, I got to, because everybody's kind of, on edge, Game 7. And Frank says to me, I said, Frank, I need to get these guys up because everybody's got a lot going on. He says, dude, you're the leader of the team. I need you to go back there and say, guys, we got this. Jump on my back. Jump on my fucking back. And he said that to me. It was really cool. And I remember telling the guys, I said, hey, guys, I walked back to the back of the plane. I said, guys, we're good. Get on my fucking back. We're going to the finals. And so somebody on the Leaf got to say that. So I told these guys, I said, guys, relax. Let's have fun. It's a Game 7. Listen, I'm bringing my A game. Y'all get on my fucking back, and we're going to the finals. And I had, because Frank, what he said was, he says, I need you to play the best fucking game of your life, and we're going to the finals. And I said, what? He says, you ain't got to worry about those guys back there. They're going to follow what you do. He says, they're going to follow what you do. He says, I need you to play the best game of your life, and the rest of these guys going to follow. And somebody on the Maple Leafs got to say, like I say, it can be Nylander, it can be Austin, it can be Tavares.
Oldie.
Yes.
Gilmore.
One of those guys got to say, hey, guys, we get paid to play hockey. We got the best job in the world. Y'all get on. And like I say, you can actually lose the game. I mean, I want to make that clear. You can actually lose the game, but they need the Panthers to know that these motherfuckers been in a fight.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
like, hey, they need to know, like, hey, you know what? Y'all beat us in 6 games, but it was a damn war. And somebody I don't know who has the personality to do that, but somebody on Toronto has got to say, guys, let's let these dudes know, because everybody think it's going to be this is the end of the season tonight. But let me tell you something. It's not. It's not the end of the season. This is another opportunity to do something special. Remember when Messier did that thing?
No.
Like they need somebody to step out there like that. Like Mark Messier, like I say, he's amazing. But when he was playing for the Rangers, he went out there and said, guys, we're good. I'm guaranteeing this going to happen. And like I say, I don't know if anybody on Toronto has that ability, but somebody needs to do it.
Chuck, I'm
Charles
literally
Barkley,
I'm literally tweeting it right now.
Yeah,
Can you
no,
read that?
somebody got to do it, man.
Biz is doing it.
Yeah.
Biz, who never
Hey,
Charles,
Biz,
thank you so much.
played
We
for
hey,
appreciate
Biz,
you.
Biz, you got the game tonight?
We're doing it, Chuck. I'm going to be in studio. You should come by if you're not getting walked on by a masseuse or working on your liver.
Biz,
He's
I need
going to the
watch.
bar.
Biz, I'm gonna be getting drunk watching both games because let me tell you something. That Celtics Knicks game tonight, you know the Garden's gonna be going crazy. I cannot this is if you like sports, this is a good night. This is a good night.
That's exactly what we needed, Chuck. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Hall of
You're
Famer
the
Charles
best, Chuck.
Barkley,
All right,
everyone.
thanks, guys.
Have a
Y'all
good
be
one.
safe.
Have a good one.
I love it.
If
What a
the
That was
Leafs-
incredible.
if Charles is in one. Charles is having a time. He's drinking. He's smoking. He's golfing. He's drinking again. And he
He's
thinks the
masseusing.
Leafs are getting it. He played the Bulls in the finals, 45-25 against Seattle, Game 7,
Unreal.
and he brought the Thunder. He's going back to bed. I think he's going back to bed.
Oh, you can fucking be in that Leafs locker room giving them that pep talk. And then
Well, if
fucking
he
Marner
breathed on him, they all be shit-faced.
They don't have a round mound of rebound on their team, though. You gotta have a special player to have a guy like Chuck on your team.
And
show
there's
up
one
and
thing that
tell
Chuck
the owner.
loves. There's one thing that Chuck loves, boys. That's gambling and DraftKings. DraftKings is a part of this show. We're so lucky. The quest to hoist the cup is in the middle of the madness right now. The action's even hotter at DraftKings Sportsbook, unofficial sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. It's super easy to get started at DraftKings. Try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go to the app, select your team, and place your first bet. It's that easy. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up right now. New customers bet $5. There's 2 big game 6s tonight, Chuck was mentioning. Knicks, Celtics, Panthers, Leafs. Bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code Chiclets. That's code Chiclets for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours, and the crown royale is Chuck's. So, what an appearance by a legend.
Oh, yeah.
The guy, you know what, Biz? He's enjoying himself on his nights off.
Well, good for him, dude. He deserves it. He works his bag off, dude. What a legend. I love Chuck. Fuck, is he funny, dude. He's in the studio all the time. Like, we'll just be chilling there watching the game. He'll be rolling through. Yeah, fucking Oilers won, man. 25 grand in my pocket, motherfucker. See McJesus fight around out there. Woohoo! And then comes in Shaq Hyman. Those guys are incredible ambassadors of the game, man. They jump by the studio and come do those hits for us. And I would say outside of the Leafs, Oilers are for sure the number one chatter in the studio. Well, obviously the Leafs because I'm in there, but they love McJesus. They love Draisaitl and everything Oilers right now because you guys are buzzing. So with that said, we should probably talk about the Edmonton Oilers because I'm sure everybody in the chat is just done with the Leafs chatter until the game starts.
I would love to talk about the Oilers. I would love to basically bring up that we are the exact opposite of the Leafs. And what we just witnessed, nobody saw coming. I think both you guys had Vegas. I know Merle's had Vegas. I know G had Vegas. So as I mentioned in my spaces, which, goddamn, it's nice doing spaces after a series win. It's just great to just talk to Oilers fans. And it's late at night, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just thinking about this team. And this has been one of the craziest first 2 rounds in the history of hockey for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's just go back. Let's go back to games 1 and 2 against LA. Done. Dead. They come back in game 1. They still somehow lose. They get waxed in game 2. We have a great coach. What did he do? He put in a new goalie, Calvin Pickard. Stuart Skinner. I mean, you want to talk about hate towards Mitch Marner. This guy was getting railroaded in Edmonton. I was all over him. Everyone was all over him. Pickard comes in. Jim Hiller literally might have won us a Stanley Cup. Game 3, he challenges the Evander Kane goaltender interference. We get a goal 8 seconds later. We win that game. We're losing in the third period of Game 4. We somehow come back. We win that game. Then we truck them in Game 5 in LA. Our first truly great played game in the playoffs so far. And then we come back and we finish the job. LA, done. New GM. Coach is sticking around. Ken Holland's the new GM. He's keeping Jim Hiller. Thank you, Jim Hiller. I think you brought us our 6th Stanley Cup. We appreciate it. But we moved on to Vegas, and Vegas was the big bad bullies. Vegas was the team who broke our hearts 2 years ago. What happens? We go in. We dominate Game 1. We win Game 1. We look phenomenal. I'm like, holy shit, this is a different team. And we had put not only Pickard in, we had put Klingberg in after Game 1 against LA. He has been unbelievable. Nobody saw Klingberg doing this. This guy's been amazing. And then we keep rolling. We keep rolling. We somehow win Game 2, an amazing overtime victory. We go back home. We lose a heartbreaker. And what happens? Skinner's back in net. And Skinner loses again. He's 0-3. The guy can't get a win. Everyone can't stand him. He doesn't get the job done when it really matters, like the Toronto Maple Leafs. But then what happened, guys? Then what happened? Stuart Skinner decided to say, all right, well, you guys aren't going to score again. Yeah, Vegas, all you big guns, all you Stanley Cup champions, all you big defensemen, you're done. There's no more scoring. And we went on to just win 2 games in a row without giving up a goal. This is the Oilers. This is a team who can't play defense. This is a team who's run and gun. They can't win in the Stanley Cup playoffs when the going gets tough. You want to bet? You want to bet? Because we are now witnessing not only coaching genius, Gary, we got better depth, we got better goaltending, we got better everything. No, you don't. You just lost in 5. You just lost in 5. And what did our coaching genius do? Because we have the genius. He put in Kasperi Kapanen. Do you guys know how we got Kapanen? Off of waivers from the Blues. Our
That's
two big signings.
Yeah.
Our 2 big signings are in the press box. We got Skinner and Arvidsson. They're not even playing. Nothing makes sense with this team. Skinner has come back in, looked phenomenal. Talk about mental toughness. Talk about a guy who doesn't listen to outside noise and believes in himself. Stuart Skinner looked incredible. And
Unreal.
not only did he look incredible, the team defense looked incredible. Leon Draisaitl was asked because he's playing with Podkolzin and Kapanen. Literally 4th liners. You talk about Barkov, Keith. You could put Ballquist on his wing. You play anyone with Leon. And Leon said, I don't care about my stats. I want to be the last team standing. And what do we have? We have a leader, the greatest player that I've ever witnessed. Okay? People hate on McDavid. I don't really understand how. I've had discussions with people I'm friends with that can't stand him. They mention he never smiles. He looks miserable. Well, I just love
Job's not done.
I love watching genius at work. And what did he do? After a 5-game series win in the second round against Vegas, he's asked about team defense and how it's improving. He snapped on the reporter. Do we have the clip?
I know.
Do we have the clip?
Yeah, it's running.
Progression over the last couple of years even. Have you seen that, the way that you guys defend and feel more comfortable defending as a group?
I mean, how many times are we going to answer this question, really? Like, honestly. That's frustrating that we keep talking about this. We can defend. We can. We've showed that time and time again. Come into a tough building and win a 1-0 game when it matters most. We can play that way. We can score goals. We can, whatever it takes, we can win games. Yeah.
Do you think that's a guy who cares that they've won in the second round and are on to their 3rd conference final in the last 4 years?
No.
Do you think he gives a flying fuck? Do you think that's a guy who's worried about his points and worried about his stats when he's back checking in Game 5, going 400 miles an hour, lifting the stick of Brett Howden to save a goal, and then crashing into the boards, burying his face, coming to the bench, and just staring there with blood coming out of his mouth? Do you think this guy's satisfied?
I think that happened in Leafland, Whit.
This is a team. No, they'd be with Chuck at the bar. This is a team.
To be fair, I know what it's like to have been the reporter when I was asking him about his hot tub over and over, where he finally just was like, well,
he was disgusted before that guy even got the question out. He knew it was coming.
So I just want to say I feel for the reporter. I have been one to ask dumb questions, so I just wanted to made that be heard. Go ahead, Whit. Sorry.
So this season makes absolutely no sense. Everyone's picking them to possibly win the President's Trophy. They're one of the 3 teams in discussion. They're, in my mind, and a lot of people's mind, they're going to win the Pacific Division, and nothing was working. It was some solid hockey. It was some brutal hockey. It was inconsistency. It was injuries. It was the expectations going into the playoffs. Like, I don't know, this doesn't feel like last year. And every single guy has turned it up a notch. That's what you need. Biz, Connor Brown.
Oh,
Evander Kane
I
comes
love
back.
Connor Brown.
How good is Connor Brown? Evander Kane was one of the
Oh.
best Oilers in that series against Vegas. He's showing up in Rolls Royces. He's showing up. I don't even know what he's going to show up.
Can we pull up the
You know what he
picture?
could get in
Here it
Dallas?
is. This guy, he is not only showing up in fucking exotic vehicles, he's posting this the minute the series is over. And from my understanding, what I've heard is the guys have really embraced his personality in the locker room, including guys like Connor Brown, where you wouldn't think that that would be a natural fit, like a blue collar type player. And then Evander, who's flashy and loud and you know, himself, right? So the fact that he's came back and made this impact after one game, it felt like he finally got his feet underneath him. It's a remarkable ad. Corey Perry drinking from the fountain of youth, but it goes back to not only the big guns, but 5-on-5 outside of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. They have 16 goals. That's 2 more they had compared to all of last year's run, and they have a ridiculous goal differential with those guys on the ice compared to last year as well. So the bottom 6 and those extra added pieces that you're talking about, the guys that nobody knew were even going to be on the roster 12 months ago, have made such an impact on this team. And it's an anomaly. It makes no sense. I would have said after the first 2 games of playoffs, they're done. McDavid's leaving
I think
town.
you did. I think you did.
I think that most people watching right now would agree with me, or listening right now would agree with me, that if they lose that first round series, there's probably a possibility that he's out of Edmonton because they hadn't addressed goaltending, which was struggling at the time. The bottom 6, look at the back end. And Ekholm goes down. You pick up fucking Wallman and Klingberg. Like, did people really think that those were the answers? No, they didn't at the time. But like Chuck talked about,
Game 6.
Bulls in the finals.
Bulls in the final. Like Chuck talked about, it was the leadership. It was the leadership, and McDavid and Draisaitl said, hop on, boys. I'm taking you to the promised land, baby.
And there's been a lot of discussion about Evan Bouchard, the contract he's going to get. And yes, there are times when you're like, what is this guy doing? But for everyone who's ever dogged him, me being one of them, that was a clinic offensively and defensively in the second round. I mean, he was probably the best player on the Oilers. I think Kane was right there. Skinner, the final 2 games of the series. But Evan Bouchard playing like that, Nurse keeping it very simple. I don't know if you saw Mike Commodore before game 4. He created a Darnell Nurse drinking game. I think it was a shot when he went down to one knee, maybe 2 drinks of a beer when he got caught in the offensive zone. Guy was great. And Wallman, I knew Wallman was very good in Detroit. Something went on there. He goes to San Jose, had an awesome year. He's been a horse. Mm-hmm. The fact that they're doing this without Ekholm, though, that is the most shocking part, because when he went out, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't think they can win the Stanley Cup without him. I have completely changed my opinion, as every other Oilers fan has, because of the madness around this season. I mean, nobody even brings up Nugent Hopkins. Nobody brings up Hyman. Hyman's averaging like 7 hits a game. He's just running around. They put Kapanen in the lineup game 4. I think he had what could have been 3 penalties in the first shift, but he said, I'm going to go Chuck style. I'm going to get loaded in the locker. I'm going to go out and run Petro through the boards. So I don't. Dallas scares me. Now, Winnipeg's still alive. We'll get to that in a little bit. I think Dallas takes care of that series at home. There's a game 6, guys. There's 2 tonight, and then there's 1 the next night. But it's just amazing to see Edmonton play like this, considering after the first 2 games of the first round, Biz, you were right. They look dead, but they're never dead. And that's the coolest thing about rooting for this team. They have some serious resolve in that locker room. There's no give up. There's no quit. They're led by a complete psychopath in Connor McDavid, which all these great champions were like that. They're crazy. And he's not going to relax. They're killers. Biz? You're muted, buddy. Can't hear you. Can't hear you. I'll talk over for you, though.
I said he's going to leave Edmonton and go to Toronto. I've been working nonstop in the hotel room. McDavid's leaving. Oilers are going to lose their franchise. Don't know how they continue in the league.
That's what Biz was going to say. And he's muted
Oh,
because
I
I
thought
think
that was Biz.
Oh, what's up? Oh, nobody's.
I just wanted to say that
Can't hear you.
McDavid's going to Toronto, and I'm telling you, I'm going back to Welland. I met a girl on Raya, and she loves me, so it's cool being me. I'm Biz. And then, sometimes I get this lucky shirt, and McDavid's going to wear it at the press conference when he comes to the Leafs.
Hey,
Oilers
I didn't realize that shirt was a short sleeve dress shirt too. It was like a barber shirt.
No, I cut it off because I wanted to show my tattoos on my arms. And then
Oh, what's up?
Hey, Biz. Please
What's up,
don't
Biz?
work. Please don't work.
Oh,
it was working when I started it. Do you guys know the Leafs are gonna come back and win this thing? Do you know that Pink Whitney vodka is the #1 selling vodka in North America flavored? Me and Chuck are going out tomorrow night.
I'll tell you right now, Biz, last year, he realized the Oilers are for real, and he was wearing a belly cut-off shirt all play. Like, he knew in the finals, this team's legit. I don't know what happens.
Shit. So broken.
What is going on with this guy?
I think that Chuck might have sent him booze, and in the last 20 minutes, he got on his, or maybe Chuck breathed on him.
Yeah, seriously. But wait, with this series too, though, like, I think Vegas is going to be one of the most disappointing teams in the last few years that I can remember, of like the hype going into the playoffs. They weren't great first round. Like, they barely got by a Minnesota team that was way less superior than they are. And then this series to lose 4-1 is crazy to me. You look at the makeup of their lineup, they're built for playoffs. They have these horses that can come in. Oh, Biz is back. Hey, Biz.
Is it working?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
Okay, that was pretty funny when you were mocking me. I could see the whole thing.
I wasn't mocking you. That was you.
That was you.
You're a fucking asshole. I was going to ask, can we not agree that Matt Murley's team was in fact the fraud squad and not the LA Kings?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, yeah. He was.
And shame on me for picking the same team as Murley. Like, what am I thinking?
And he acts like he's the hockey god, and he knows every. Just because you fucking hit the Brad Marchand overtime winner. Fuck you. Fuck you. You and your fraud squad. He could fucking room with Gary Lawless at the finals when we go to Toronto for the 7-game series there. Suck on that, Woody.
Now, let me address the craziest part about the Oilers. And I got to be careful with my words here, because I don't want this to get clipped and people are like, Witt wants people to be fighting each other outside Rogers Place. But every game we win, and then our fans are teeing off on each other in jerseys.
It's
like we have started a movement like Tyler Durden did in Fight Club. Like, first rule about Fight Club, don't talk about Fight Club. First rule about the Oilers, grab a guy in a Draisaitl jersey and punch his eyes shut. I don't love it. I don't want to see concussions and stitches and injuries in the moss pit post game. But I don't know how this is going to change.
Well, did you
now.
see what they did with the moss pit? Is, how they have like the fence? They made it into an octagon. So it's a sanctioned UFC event now in the moss pit. Did you see Stanley Cup? But you have
to have
lady?
An Oilers jersey on to fight.
Yeah, did you see Stanley Cup lady going at it the other night? Holy fuck. She could throw some kidney shots, I'll tell you. Holy fuck.
Our fans are tougher than your team, Biz. Our fans are willing to
blue collar
to die after these games.
Well, Rick from Red Deer and
celebrating.
Stanley Cup lady fought to the death the other night. Rick from Red Deer's done. He's dead. He's done. Yeah, I'm telling you,
Wow.
it's crazy.
It's like,
Crazy
hey,
nonsense.
if tonight, if Leon gets the game-winning jersey, anyone in a Draisaitl jersey, you could sucker them. It's like, all right, well, we keep winning. And it has to be a defenseman jersey, like a Bouchard jersey has to fight the Draisaitl jersey. So the Oilers fan,
The 50-50 tickets are picked to who you're matched up against.
Oh,
They don't even give money out anymore. They just give you your partner.
they tape your wrist.
so I'm just thrilled. It's been an crazy and getting to watch your team like win like this and continue to move on. It's so exciting. I think if Dallas does get it done and Winnipeg, what a game last night. I want to get to Carolina next, but if Dallas does get it done, I think we're in for an all-time 7-game Western Conference final. We were able to get by him in 6 last year, but they added a guy named Mikko Rantanen that the Leafs wanted. I think we would take care of Winnipeg in 5 if they somehow came back. I'm not too worried about Winnipeg. Dallas, Edmonton could be a legendary all-time series, but proud to be an Oilers fan. They sent me this beautiful lid. They sent me a bunch of stuff, water bottles. I'm going to fill it up with Chuck's vodka after this and get crippled, but
Game 6 night.
Phenomenal so far. And I think with that, we can maybe chat about Carolina, Biz.
Oh my God! Listen, everybody's been pitching. Yeah,
quickly, because I want to talk about something. We got to talk about Kraken before we get to Carolina because they're cracking skulls. Kraken, boys, whether you're ripping clappers on the ice or making moves in the markets, you need speed, precision, and a game plan. That's why we're rolling with Kraken, the official crypto exchange of Spittin Chiclets. When it comes to buying, selling, and swapping over 300 different cryptocurrencies, Kraken is the real deal. No slow plays, no laggy platforms, just deep liquidity, fast execution, and a rock-solid trading experience. And here's the best part. You could set up recurring buys and dollar cost average without the hassle. No stressing over market timing or letting emotions take over. Like the Oilers fans, just link your bank in minutes, automate your Bitcoin purchases monthly, weekly, or even daily, lower fees than a card transaction, no more manual deposits, just stack sats like a beauty. Crypto is a lot like hockey. You don't just throw the puck around like Mitch Marner and hope for the best. You need a game plan. Whether you're stacking Bitcoin for the long haul or diving into the wild world of meme coins, Kraken's got your back. And here's the cherry on top. Kraken is rewarding over $200 in USDG when you share your referral link with family and friends. Get your buddies in the game and everybody wins. Don't be a pylon. Get off the bench. Get on Kraken. Start stacking. Head to kraken.com/barstool. And this is not investment advice. Crypto trading involves risk of loss and is offered to U.S. customers, excluding Washington, New York, and Maine through Payward Interactive. Biz. Carolina. Oh, he's gone. I'm just taking a shit. I gotta go poop. So Keith, Carolina fans, congrats to you guys. I'm looking at you guys. An amazing fan base, an incredible home ice advantage, a team that is fast and relentless, that plays just like their coach played when he raised the Stanley Cup as your captain in 2006. It's been amazing. But they're a pissed off group, and I don't really blame them. I'm confused why they're so pissed off. And the main reason I bring that up is because people are calling them boring. I think that series was one of the most boring hockey series I've ever watched. I really credit to you though. You made it boring. My thing is, why do you care if clowns like me and clowns like Biz think that you're boring if you're winning? It should almost be something where you're laughing at us, which I think you probably are. But it's like, I don't care how boring. Do you think the 95 New Jersey Devil fan base cared that they were boring? No, they cared that they were drinking with Chuck at the parade. And they cared about the Bulls in the finals. But the Carolina Hurricanes, they are, I would say, one of the deeper teams. They're very fast. They're amazing on home ice. But they know to win games, they can't play run and gun hockey. People want to see run and gun hockey. I like that, but the Oilers have won games in a boring way. I don't think Game 5 was boring against Vegas. It was a little more exciting than a Carolina win 1-0. But who cares what all of us say? Because you keep on winning. Now, here's the issue. You just made mincemeat of Washington. I mean, they had 7 goals in 5 games. Like, just excellent team defense. You got Svechnikov with 8 goals already. He's been incredible. You have the best defensive defenseman in the NHL, I'd say, in Jacob Slavin. You have a team that can win the Stanley Cup. But now you're on to the Terror Dome, and that is the Eastern Conference Finals. This is your third trip, I believe, since 2019. You haven't won a game. Now, when people call you boring, I think part of it is that they have the thought of you getting swept the past two Eastern Conference Finals in their mind, thinking, yeah, you could get through the first two rounds playing that way, but you got to have big guns to continue the magic and continue on to the finals. This team does feel different. I know when they played the Bruins in 19, they were overmatched. I don't think they were as overmatched as the series outcome against the Panthers in 23. The famous Rod Brindamore, we weren't swept series when they did, in fact, lose 4 in a row. I think that first game of that series, did it not go to 4 overtimes? Remember Kachuk scored?
Yeah, that was the one Kachuk left, right? I think it was 3 of 4, right?
No, I think he had 2 overtime winners in that series, and the other one he might have left. Maybe chat, G, help me out here. Yeah. I think this team, though, fuck, man, they got Nikishin came in last night, looked pretty good. They have Jackson Blake as a rookie on the first power play. The kid's a water bug. He's an animal. Stankoven plays to their style. Taylor Hall looks reborn. I'm sorry, Ian Draw. He scored another one with a minute left to go up 1. That was when he did the sliding celebration, I believe, in Florida. Just an incredible series by the Panthers. I think that Carolina is not going to be swept in the conference finals. If they play the Leafs somehow, according to Chuck, that they're going to win, I think they take care of them. Florida and them, I don't know if they can beat Florida, Keith. I'm not exactly sure. I'm ranting. I'm going to let you talk here in 1 sec. I just want Carolina Hurricane fans to stop caring about what anyone says. Who cares? You got to be able to just let everyone else's opinion go in 1 year, out the other, like my headphones at the beginning of the show, and just say, we win. We win. We shut everyone up. It doesn't care if it's boring. I don't mind if we win 1-0 because all we do is win. So I don't know if they're going to be able to get it done, but congrats, because you just made Washington look like an AHL team.
Yeah, they sure did. And great breakdown for them. I agree with you that if they play Toronto, I think they'll make light work of them. If it's Florida, I don't think, because what Carolina does, they make teams play the way that they want to play. They make them, play the greasy game. They want to play the heavy game. They'll take away your skill and make you play like every line is a fourth line. I don't think they could do that to Florida. I think Florida's a little too, well coached, and the been there, done that team that, they've seen pretty much everything the last 3 years, where they know to just go out and play their game. If for somehow it is the Leafs, I would tell the Leafs, try to win these games 6-5. Like, let's just go play run and gun hockey for a little bit, which they can do mostly in the regular season. They do that, but I don't think it's I don't think if it's against Florida that they could impose their will like they have on Jersey and Washington. They just completely made them play the way that they wanted to, and it was just a masterclass.
Go ahead.
I was just going to chime in here, and you mentioned going 6-5 with them. I think Freddie Anderson's the biggest X factor in this series. No question, because if you're going to get the Freddie Anderson when he's healthy, when he's on his game, I actually do think the Canes have a shot at taking down anyone here the way they're playing.
I think they could win the cup.
I agree.
I really think they could win the cup.
But
with him, because as we've seen in the past, Freddie gets hurt. So if Freddie gets bumped in, if Sam Bennett does that same shitty play did with Stellares there, I don't know. I can never say his name. It's so fucked. Stellares. That was Chuck for a second. This is Chuck right here. Stellares.
But yes or no, don't you guys think it kind of comes down to Freddie Anderson?
It does. And gee, here's the thing. I thought the other night, all right, against Florida, they're just going to kick the shit out of them, because Carolina's not the biggest, strongest team. They're quick, but Florida, look at what they do. They just wear you down. The series gets long, and you can't continue to take the bumps and the forechecks. But I thought Washington would do the same thing to them. I thought Washington before that, I'm like, they're just going to physically dominate them. Dude, they couldn't even get shots. You're watching these games through 2 periods. Washington would have 12 shots. It's all right, the physicality doesn't matter. So that's kind of where I'm like, fuck, maybe they can slow down Florida too and just take away their physical ability and just grind them out down low. Biz,
What's up,
Can you
brother?
hear me?
I had to take a massive shit. Sorry about that, boys.
So we're talking about Carolina. I forgot to mention, G brought up, like, they can win the Stanley Cup. Now, they got to win a game in the conference final for me to really believe, considering they're 0-8 in their last
Also
two
depends
trips.
who they're playing, too. We don't know.
I actually think they're 0-12 in their last 3 trips, because didn't the Penguins sweep them one year?
The last 3 trips, they have not won a game. It was against Pittsburgh, I believe,
Boston.
Philly, or I believe the other one was against Boston, where they lost 4 straight. And then, of course, Florida. Don't know what you guys have dove into, because once again, I was taking a massive shit. A little bit nervous, before a game. Game 6 jitters. Master class by the Carolina Hurricanes. They skated Washington into the ground. Their penalty kill is incredible. They're just as good defensively on the kill as they are 5-on-5. It's banana lands. Their power play came too. Like after the first game, it was brutal. Made some adjustments. I think they found the back of the net in game 2, and then they never really had that many issues after that. Like, it would generate momentum. Their zone entries were a little bit cleaner. It wasn't as quote unquote disastrous as it was in game 1. So that was really the only glaring issue that they had as part of the series. Anderson looked incredible. It looks like the rest that from the regular season, because he wasn't playing night in, night out, really benefited him. Even the little layoff he had in playoffs after he got bumped by New Jersey. Their defense, I mean, you heard Carberry. Did you roll Carberry's clip about Slavin and how he should be nominated? He should be nominated for the Norris every year.
Will go down in history, and I'll just speak for myself. This is one of the greatest seasons that I've ever been a part of as a coach or a player, and I'll never forget this group. And I told those guys I love them, and every single one of them, what we went through as a group this year and what they accomplished, and O's record and everything that went into this season, I will never forget this group.
Well, this has nothing to do with the Slavin
really
comment,
memorable.
but that's him pumping his own team's tires. Thanks a lot, whoever threw that up there. We'll get to that clip though, and pump Washington's tires on the way out.
Yeah.
But basically, he goes, the fact that this guy's not nominated for the Norris every year in, year out, I think just pretty much furthers the argument that they need to have a defensive defenseman award. Or people should rethink the fact of how they should vote for the Norris, because he was a wet blanket. And surprisingly, Slavin, he has a better point per game average in playoffs than he does in the regular season. He's about a half point per game in the playoffs, doesn't take minor penalties, and is a complete wet blanket out there when it comes to shutting guys down. So, but to a man on the back end, I thought, like I said, a masterclass. And all the additions they've made and just the way they play. I rolled a few clips over and over on the broadcast of them losing an offensive zone draw, and how Brent Burns, when it goes D to D, he's the one going down because he knows he has that F3 support. So the way they constantly attack, but then yet cover for each other, and it doesn't matter what position you're playing, they're covering. It's like pretty to watch. I know there's been a massive amount of criticism that it's boring, and I think that the matchup between them and Washington was boring. I didn't necessarily think that between them and New Jersey. I thought the games were definitely more exciting. So take the criticism for what it is, but watching them skate a team into the ground, to me, wasn't as boring as most people played it out to be. So congrats to Rod the Bod and what they were able to accomplish. They've earned their rest, and I think that they're going to need it, whoever they play, whether it's Toronto or Florida, because I do think that I would favor either of those teams against them. But as we know in the past and now, I think that they enjoy being the underdogs, because a lot of people didn't have them winning that series against Washington, and they easily dismantled them. So that's pretty much all I got to say. I think you pretty much named all the forwards and all the guys whose tires we had to pump. Svechnikov, probably the most glaring forward, in my opinion. 8 goals. Yeah. I think he's one behind Rantanen right now for the lead in playoffs. So bravo to him. And maybe he's budding as that superstar we continue to say that they don't have.
So if I look at when they play Florida, all right, say you match up Barkov and Aho. I think Barkov's a better player, but Aho's phenomenal. All right, we'll call that like a wash. Then you go to the second line, Roslovic. I mean, he's going against Bennett. I think that's a big time mismatch, right? And then you go to Jordan Stahl, great third line checking center, but Lundell, I think he can answer him. And you look down the middle. I mean, you look on the wings, and that's where you see the difference in these two teams. I don't know if they can slow down Florida the way they did Washington. I think that Florida is that much better than Washington, but I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see Carolina. I do think that this series won't be as boring. I think they knew we're just going to completely smother Washington, and they'll have to change certain things in their game against Florida. But I want to give the fans credit because it's an incredible fan base. I would love to go down there for the finals. The game's there. Do you guys remember the Oilers game we went to 2 years ago?
It's awesome. They have an incredible fan
fucking
base.
awesome. But I just don't get why they get so upset when people call them boring. It's like,
they should be proud of that. They should be proud of that. Like, wear that with a badge of honor. They're making the games boring and they're winning it. Like, you don't want to play an exciting game against Alex Ovechkin and Tom Wilson. Like, you want it to be as vanilla as possible and win the way that you can. And you got to give them credit for doing that. And yeah, I think, like you've said, a couple times, it's just be happy with the way that you're playing. You're winning games, you're moving on, and you got to continue to do that if you're going to win. Because the teams that change the way that they play in playoffs, they don't make it far. Like, you can't.
But here's where I disagree about the boring part. Like, watching New Jersey back in the day when they would smother teams and it would be 2-1 and they would set up in the neutral zone and like left wing lock,
the way Carolina
all that type of stuff. Like, Carolina's in the ozone, like having their defensemen pinching. So like they're going, like they're getting in on the offense. They're not just sitting back. So
but what I find boring, Biz, is they just throw everything on net, which works for them. So you're not seeing a ton of like creativity in the offensive zone.
Not as many grade A's, but mind you, they would generate just as many grade A's as Washington. That was mostly because they were shutting Washington down where they weren't getting many. But I also think that it has a lot to do with the fact that you go watch Florida, Toronto, or Edmonton and whoever, and you watch all these other series that are on crack. Colorado, Dallas, like those were the high scoring chances, like back and forth action. So I guess comparatively to that, it's boring, but I think that it's been getting a little bit too much criticism for the boring side of it compared to what's actually boring hockey. Like I said, I just showed those clips on there where it's like they're fucking in the ozones. They got Brent Burns pinching on one end and he's rimming it around. And then you got Slavin pinching on the other. It's like, holy fuck, they're coming at you kamikaze style. Like, it's fucking, you're under attack here. So,
and at home, it's impossible to, it's like, it's impossible to deal with that team.
You're literally in a hurricane. Like, that's why they call them the Hurricanes. You're in the eye of the storm. Just going over to Washington, though, like I felt what's that?
The eye
of the storm's calm and relax, but they're
is
in
it?
the heart.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fuck.
yeah,
Well, look at me, idiot with analogy. Washington, I felt like they also ran out of steam because of everything that they were putting up with in the back of the seat, like all the camera crews around, like Ovi goal chase, celebration here, celebration there. Like, that's a lot. It's a lot on the nervous system. You're fucking, you're going crazy. You're essentially partying like you're in the MLB, where after every time he's scoring a goal at the end of the season, you're popping the champagne and crushing Bud Light. So, incredible season. Jacob Chikrin, career year for him, big contract. Logan Thompson, career year for him, massive contract. Great trade for Beauvillier, who had a great playoffs. I'm sure he's going to get a nice deal this offseason. Like, it just really feels like they had a lot of great stories. And we do have that clip from Carberry. He did touch on the success of the season in the last one. This is what he had to say about Jacob Slavin.
I hope this isn't it.
Because he doesn't get enough credit. I think he started to get credit since the Four Nations. Jacob Slavin is how he's not in the Norris Trophy conversation every single year. It doesn't seem right. Obviously, the guys that are there are tremendous players in their own right, but that he's one heck of a player.
A little tire pump.
I know that the Caps they went to the final, I think 97 or 98. Detroit swept them. So that's an amazing run to win your conference. But I think most Capitals fans would say this is their second favorite season ever, right?
Yeah.
Like it was no one thought they were going to do shit. The only thing anyone cared about is the OV chase, and even most people thought that would be next season, and it turned into an incredible run. Like I think that fan base is probably the happiest losing round 2. I know that sounds ridiculous, but it's like, fuck, we didn't even think we'd maybe make the playoffs. We got to see this amazing record, and he broke his leg in the middle of the year. And then we got to win the first round and dominate Montreal. And those were some of the best games of the playoffs, entertainment-wise. And then we ran into a team that, just like you said, Biz, skated us into the ground. So I think also Ryan Leonard got back into the lineup last night, or had he been in the game before? He's coming. He's going to be a great player. Cole Hudson, drafted. He's at BU. This kid's going to be a stud in the NHL. They have a lot of great things coming for them. And it's a fun year, a fun season. Ovi did what we thought was never going to happen in this game. And congrats to the Capitals and their fans. I didn't even have you making playoffs. Shocker, I was wrong again. But you proved everyone wrong, and you gave it a hell of a run, and you just ran into a fucking great hockey team. Nothing you can
to put it all in perspective, Washington went from one of the lowest scoring teams in the league with a minus 40 goal differential last season. They snuck in that wild card to being the second highest scoring team this year. So that just speaks to the volumes of what they were able to accomplish. But going back over to Carolina, the second highest scoring team in the league, only scored 7 goals in 5 games, 3 of which were scored in game 2. Every one of their losses, they held them to 1 fucking goal per game. That is just remarkable. Tip of the cap to Carolina and what Rod the Bod's done there. They are going to be a tough out. And if it is Florida, just like McDavid said, we got memories like elephants when Vegas beat us out a few years ago. And that was that was the payback that McDavid and the Oilers wanted to put back on Vegas. They're going to want to put that same payback on Florida, but we're getting ahead of ourselves because it's Leafs in 7.
I will say just about Washington. I think a lot of people fell in love with that team. I know I did too, because a lot of cameras were on them this year. You got a lot of looks in their locker room, the way that Carberry treated them, the way that they, it looked like they loved each other and played for each other, and with the whole OB race and everything. So I think having cameras around teams like that will grow more for people, appreciating even more what players are doing day in, day out. So yeah, congrats to them on a great year. Like you said, Whit, something that no one ever thought would ever be done. You guys got to enjoy that, and sucks losing, obviously, but a lot of good things to be proud about this year.
I do think there are a lot of similarities too between the 06 Cup champ Hurricanes and this year's team. I don't know if you remember, like they didn't have a superstar. Now Eric Stahl was 20 and he had 100 points that year. Mm-hmm. So I guess you could say he was right there, if not already a superstar, but it was a team that I don't think a lot of people before that playoffs had winning at all, and they just kept going. It took them game 7 against my Oilers, but there are similarities there, and let's see what happens, because
they're going to have Anderson stay healthy. That's the biggest thing.
G said that when you were dumping. G said that.
Sorry, G.
And
G.
Someone
Good
on
fill
Florida, can someone on Florida, throw an elbow into Anderson's head, which
we know Toronto
they're likely to do. They're likely to do that.
He'll stay healthy if they play against the Leafs.
All right. Well, congrats, Carolina fans. Last series, guys. Connor Hellebuck, he's got to win one road game. He's got to win one fucking road game. And the way he looked last night, Biz, you don't think it can happen? I think it can happen. I think it can happen. Now, for me, buddy, I need 7 overtimes in game 6 and then 4 overtime. Like that win for Winnipeg was huge for me. Huge, right? Just beat him down, punch him down. I think that Winnipeg played their best game of the playoffs last night. Arena was madness. Hellebuck was great. He didn't really even have to be, but they were just phenomenal. Ehlers looks like he's reached another level. They had the Jamie Benn punch to Scheifele, and they had Dallas rattled. Now, can they go and win a road game, guys? You're your whole season will change in my mind. You're not fraud. If they lose and they can't win one fucking road game, they're frauds.
That's fraudulent.
Jokes.
Biz, that is how you play a home game in the NHL when your back is against the wall. That's how your fans act. That's how your players act. You go out and you play a full 60
We don't need
minutes.
to make this about Toronto.
Oh, no, I wasn't even thinking that. Jeez.
Oh,
I was
okay.
I was
What
just
about the
giving them-
Bulls?
Yeah. Just incredible. Like the atmosphere looked insane. The players, you could tell from shift one, were ready to go, ready to run through a wall, do whatever. Like Chuck said 3,000 times, I wonder if Connor Hellebuck went into that locker room and was like, boys, jump on. Because he was so good. And they had to, because Ottinger's been amazing. The first goal goes off someone, you're like, oh my God, this, that's the only way you're going to beat this guy. And then they stick with it. They stick with it. They find ways. They get under Dallas's skin, which they haven't really done yet this series. And they played unbelievable for a full 60 minutes with their back against the wall.
There's only been two games in these playoffs that Dallas hasn't scored a power play goal. Incredible home game, though, as you guys mentioned. Hellebuck looked like himself. He looked athletic. His reads were great. He was very active with his stick. I don't know if you guys noticed that. On the first goal they scored, he was the one. It was a 2-on-1 at the net. Sandberg got beat by Rantanen, and he slid it down for a goal line play. I forget who the other guy was, but he tried to come out and tuck it around. Hellebuck pokes it away. They go back the other way, and Scheifele gets that lucky bounce off the Plenko goal. Also for Winnipeg, they get those power plays, right? They get the 5-on-3, and then they're able to get that insurance. Nikolai Ehlers, so he came back in game 6 of last round, and obviously they needed him, right? They were dealing with injuries. They had Scheifele out, they had him out, and then Morrissey, because he'd been banged up last round. And looking at Ehlers' playoff numbers, like, this guy's leaving after this season's done, right? He's going to become an unrestricted free agent. He's going to sign a big ticket somewhere. I think he's made it pretty clear that he wants to be a first-line winger, and Kyle Connor ain't going anywhere because he's the guy there. He had only had 4 playoff goals in 38 playoff games coming into game 6 in the last round. 14 points. 14 points total in 38 playoff games. So since then, I know he didn't score in game 6 of last round, but he makes that play to keep their season alive in game 7, where he assisted on that tying goal in the dying seconds. And then since then, 5 goals in his last 4 games. So he's all of a sudden to find his stride, right? His playoff stride. So him coming to is massive, massive for the Winnipeg Jets, along with everything else they got going. But it mainly comes down to Hellebuck and what his road performance is going to look like. But if I'm Dallas, I'm very concerned at the fact that he looked like regular season Hellebuck, and it seems like maybe the pressure's coming off of him from the playoff woes, so to speak.
You gotta think, dude, that with what he's done in his career, that he can show up in game. At least give him a chance. At least give them a chance, right? They don't even need him to completely steal a game. Like, that's not even what they're asking for, Jets fans. Just don't suck in an early goal that's a wrist shot from the top of the circles that we've seen, I don't know, on the road like 6 times this year. So if he can just show up and give him a chance based on how they just played, I think if it goes 7, that's a complete coin flip. Look at what happened against St. Louis. The game was over and they somehow pulled it out. So Dallas, incredible team. I think that they're able to just totally. Marner's like, we got to flush this down the toilet. No. Marner needed to say,
we're gonna flush you down the fucking toilet.
Dallas can say, we got to flush that one down the toilet. That's the perfect example of using that little statement. We're flushing this one away. We didn't have our best. They were desperate. We're going to be better. Can Connor Hellebuck win this game, though? That is the biggest question. Everything will change about the narrative around him if he wins this game.
Yeah.
My biggest concern for Winnipeg is Tits McGee behind the bench.
She's going to be
well,
there
she's
again?
1-0 in closeout games this playoffs. And Glassbanger has been released from prison, boys.
I thought it was May 15th. I think he got out yesterday.
He got out yesterday.
he's going to be banging his ankle bracelet off the glass.
Yes.
Instead of
That
his
would
hands.
be my main concern if I'm the Winnipeg Jets, if they got Tits McGee behind the bench and then Glassbanger in on the forecheck in his seat. So I don't know what else they can do to elevate their play, but they're going to have to play like they did last game where they shut them down. There was only, about a dozen shots through 2 periods for the Dallas Stars. So clamping it down, putting on that chastity belt as far as defense is concerned, Hellebuck showing up and neutralizing Tits McGee and Glassbanger, and we're going back to Winnipeg for 7. If Winnipeg going to 7 and bringing them back there in Canada, that's the best thing that could happen to you for the next round. That's the best thing.
And for Winnipeg, oh yeah, for the Oilers, no doubt. But for Winnipeg, like DeBoer's going to lose a game 7 at some point. It's just the law of averages. So either he loses it this round if Winnipeg can get a game 6 win on the road, or when we go to 7 with him, he's going to lose. Like, you can't win every game 7. Yes, people probably said that after he's 4-0, 5-0, 6-0, 7. He's 9-0. But at some point, he will lose a game 7. Will it be this round or will it be against the Oilers? I would love a game 7, though. Just bunch of overtimes, bunch of big hits. What did you think of the play where Ben suckered Scheifele?
So if you look closely, they were going full Lesbo scissor on the ice when they were down on the ground, right? They were beaver smacking. And I think that Jamie Benn thought that when Scheifele was getting up and he extended his leg that he kicked him because he mouthed the words when he got up, and that's why he suckered him. Do I think that Scheifele did it intentionally? No, I have no idea. I wasn't on the bottom of that pile, and I'm not inside of his brain. He got him right in the clit. You get him right in the fucking right in the,
which for those nuts
right in the roast beef sandwich.
Is the using your foot as a weapon in hockey, and anytime like your foot's near someone is the biggest no. So like I could see why his wires crossed, but go ahead. Sorry.
Did you feel that that's maybe why he snapped like that? After
I thought that was a good catch by you when you texted that because I didn't see it, and then yes, I thought so.
Well, Liam McHugh pointed it out, and then we watched it in slow-mo, and I'm like, yeah. And then I had a couple other people text me saying, I think that he thinks that he tried to kick him.
Yeah, which he probably didn't, but he probably didn't.
It looked like it was like a 4-inch extension of him scrambling, trying to get up. So, anything to get the wires crossed for Jamie Benn. That's not a guy you want to piss off the wrong way. He's kind of a psycho. But we'll see what they got in game 6. But I got nothing much else for that series, boys. It's going to be a great one. I kind of loved
how Scheifele, he went down. It was almost like he was going to stay down. Then his wires crossed. He got up, and then he was going insane on the bench, losing his mind. But I kind of like that. Like, that's the passion, dude. That's the fire. Like, we're not going down. This thing's going to 6. We're going to win on the road.
Well, he never goes down.
Yeah.
He never goes down. It's a pussy joke.
He
made a comment years ago that he doesn't like eating box.
Scissoring. All right. That wraps up this series. We're live there. We got 2 series left. One will end tonight. And I think one stays alive Saturday night. I think we're seeing a game 7. I really do. I don't think Jets fans are going to love hearing me say that, but I think we're going to get it. 1 game 7 in the second round, and Florida gets it done at home tonight. But we got another ad here, guys, before we get to the quick hits part. This is RO. Let's talk about RO Sparks, guys. A 2-in-1 prescription treatment for stronger, harder erections. Yeah, we're talking erections right now. We're talking RO Sparks. We're talking the RO Sparks that dissolve under your tongue, meaning they hit your bloodstream faster than pills so you could get ready for action quicker, biz. When you got your girls, once that medication dissolves, they work in about 15 minutes on average, giving you the boost you need for thicker, longer erections.
Ooh,
what an ad read. And helping you last longer for more fun for both of you. My wife might have just heard you say thicker, longer erections, Ryan. I'll give the RO Sparks a try. Plus, RO Sparks can stay active in your system for up to 36 hours. That means you can be ready to go round after round, or even in the morning after. And no need for awkward in-person doctor visits. Hey, doc, my dick doesn't get hard. It's really small. Well, no. RO connects you with a medical provider 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships right to your door. If prescribed, new sexual health patients get $15 off Sparks on a recurring plan. Connect with a provider at ro.co/chiclets to find if your prescription RO Sparks are right for you. That's ro.co/chiclets for $15 off your first order. And who doesn't want to have thicker, longer, harder erections, right, Biz?
I agree with you. I don't want to have the Tootsie Roll like Puff Daddy as it's being described. So you want to get the long, thick, hard cock so you can put it in your riot dates.
Okay, there we go. Guys, talk back to Philly. God, what? I mean, everyone kind of saw it. Everyone could see it. God, he played for the Flyers. The way he played, the way that fan base wants their team to play. We need Rick Tocchet. I think Bruins fans were holding out hope. No. I'm going back to Philly. I'm going with Danny Briere. I'm going with Keith Jones, and we're gonna find what it takes to win a Stanley Cup here. Because guys, 1975, that was a long time ago. That's only 7 years after. What was the Leafs' last one, Biz? 67. Yeah, 8 years, right? So Philly, this is a long time. This is a fan base they came close against Chicago in 2010, but no. We're going with Rick Tocchet. We're going with the man who played here, knows what it takes to be successful here. And Biz, he got a big old bag of money.
He got paid, and he deserved it. Jack Adams, 2 years removed. Difficult year this year in Vancouver. Thought he balanced it and juggled it well, though. Was very impressed with his exit press conference and talking about the PD and Miller situation and you know how he tried to manage it and what he saw from it. I know Quinn Hughes is going to miss him. That's why they had to re-sign the D coach Adam Foote to keep and continue to establish a very similar culture that Talk had. Obviously, he will be missed there because he does have that experience as a head coach. But ultimately, Philly's a few years away, right? So they're starting this thing from the ground up with Jonesy. And what better guy to have in there to help build a culture than Rick Tocchet? I mean, he won it as a player, won it twice as an assistant, and now he's trying to win it as a head coach. So he's been around winners his whole life. And I think it's a perfect fit to go back there, a place he had so much success as a player and, you know, helped establish a winning culture at that time. And he gets to go back there and assemble a staff in order to do so. Now, I don't think there's going to be pressure to make playoffs for the next 2 years there, I would imagine, as they continue to try to stockpile, good talent that can help you win in the NHL. They did get rid of some guys at the deadline, and they do still have some guys there that you can build and work around, but they do have work to do. Right. And I think that we can all agree that they're probably 2-3 years away from making playoffs. So for him to go there, and leave Vancouver, it's kind of nice, right? Not only are you getting this bag, but there's not this immense amount of pressure to all of a sudden step in and make playoffs and win a Stanley Cup, where he will have a little bit of rope here. And I would imagine that Flyers fans will probably be lenient for 2 years until they do finally enter playoff aspirations. So congrats to him, an enormous bag, well deserved. And I really look forward to see Philly back in the mix, man. Because when we went there a couple of years ago, it was pretty depressing watching a game. I don't know if you were with us that trip, Whit. It was me, G, I think Dale was there, and the building was half empty. And it wasn't that Flyers fan base and culture that we have come to grow and know, like during the Mike Richards playoff era where they were going against the Pittsburgh Penguins and it was sold out and they had fucking Crosby dolls hanging by a fucking noose and, big fucking baby written on the big cardboard cutouts like it was a goddamn WWE match. So we need the hateful Flyers fan back in the building rooting against opposing players and really scaring the fucking shit out of them when they walk out of that tunnel.
Well said.
Talk's the guy to do that. He did it his whole career playing.
I don't know if they have many prospects. I don't know.
Well, hey, they got to get going here, and they got money to spend in free agency. They're going to be going after some guys apparently, and I'm sure there's a lot of guys out there come free agency that would love to pull on that Flyers jersey. I mean, it's a fucking, it's a traditional franchise. It's got tons of tradition there, and they got the 6th overall pick, as G's letting us know.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got nothing left on that. You guys done?
No, congrats.
You mentioned Adam Foote. became the head coach in Vancouver. There was a clip that went a little viral after the hiring where I think he was talking to you, Biz, actually, where Quinn Hughes says he's the best coach I've ever had, talking
Yeah,
about
I asked
Adam
him the
Foote.
question.
So I get that, right? I mean, good job, Biz. Great
First
journalism
good one I've
right
ever
there.
asked.
Yep. Same way we talk about talk, like Adam Foote, one of the meanest, hardest defensemen of his generation, right? Like he knows what it takes to win a Stanley Cup. He knows how you have to play when you get to that level. Vancouver needed some sort of stability. Now, how can he approach getting Elias Pettersson to become the player that he was when that contract was signed? If I were to take the job the way he did, that's my first thing. I don't know if you're flying over to see him. I don't know if it's on the phone or Zoom. You have to get to the bottom of what's been going on with his game, right? Because without him, I don't see how Vancouver becomes a really good team again. If he can be the guy that everyone saw those first few years, this could turn around a lot quicker, right? You got a highly paid, highly skilled player. If that guy isn't going to play like he needs to play to become good, like he did when you were good, then you're done.
Throw him in the Pacific.
He calls him. He's like, if you don't start playing, buddy, you're fucking going into the ocean.
We're going to go whale watching, and then I'm going to throw you overboard, and you're going to get fucking gobbled up by one.
I don't know. Jim Rutherford, quote machine. That guy, just let him get interviewed once a week. Can we interview him and just get quote after quote after quote? I don't know. He did mention bringing over the Hughes brothers to have Quinn happy. I think there was a possible tampering charge within that. I don't know if anything came of that. But Adam Foote, no wonder he's a head coach in the NHL is basically what I'm trying to say here. So congrats to him.
He was Jacob Slavin before Jacob Slavin.
Yeah. Little meaner, I think.
That's true.
Yeah, not as good of a skater, but meaner.
But back then, you could
I think
cross-check
too,
a guy in the
what,
spleen, and you wouldn't even get called for it. So he didn't take many penalties either.
What Quinn Hughes said about him too, which I really liked, is he said, you know, he's a guy that you would want your kids to be coached by too. He's not there screaming in your face, you know, belittling you. He's teaching you the game. He's wanting you to get better. He's trying to help you get to that next level, which I think that makes a lot of sense for these guys that played, especially a guy like him who played at the highest level, won at the highest level. He wants these guys to get there and to taste that. And you can tell when, you know, one of the best defensemen in the league is saying stuff like that about you, that's got to make them feel good.
Love it.
After 17 NHL seasons, Sam.
Wait, we have a little breaking news here for you, Whit. Knobloch.
Chuck, is that the bar?
Chuck Knobloch. Oh, Knobloch says.
Chuck Knobloch.
Knobloch
Chris.
says Ekholm won't be back for games 1 or 2, but he's optimistic he'll be back in the 3rd round here.
Wow. Get that row pill in you. You got a hockey boner, don't you?
I don't need it. I'm bricked up because Ekholm might be back. All that. Ekholm's coming back. You think I need an RO Sparks? You think I need that?
Wow.
Honey, show's almost over. Ekholm's coming back.
You could just do it during an ad read.
Put this jersey on. He got his jersey with a dartboard on the back.
That's amazing news.
Instead of a number.
I am excited to hear that. But Gags, Sam Gagne, guys, what a career. Couple clicks. I mean, dude, this guy is obsessed with hockey. No surprise. I believe he's already been hired as the director of player development with the Senators. Is that? Wow. Team's director of player development, which, dude, this kid is so skilled. This kid, I'm talking him. God, Gags is 35 years old now, played in the NHL at 18. Oilers, Coyotes, Flyers, Blue Jackets, Canucks, back to the Oilers, Red Wings, Jets, back to the Oilers. And what's cool is Gags came in as a very high pick. He was going to be an offensive player. He realized he had to change things. He had to change his game a little bit as his career went on. And he did. To play that long on that many different teams, to be able to change the way that you go about playing the game and be more responsible defensively and realize you're not going to be first power play guy. I loved playing with him. Such a good dude in the locker room. Keith, you played with him as well, right?
Yeah, loved him.
Where'd you play with him?
In Phoenix. he was like the new age skill that we see now from pretty much everybody, like his backhand toe drag, his vision. But yeah, he was an amazing player. But and you said it earlier too, his love for the game, like that guy,
dude, that kid's obsessed with
hockey. He absolutely loved it. It was like, I mean, when you see guys who love it like that, it's, you know, it's inspiring to everybody else. And he brought that to every team that he was on. He's always at the rink early, whether he's just taping sticks or looking at other guys' sticks. So just a pleasure to be around. You know, obviously everyone remembers when he was the first, second, and third star that one game, which was pretty insane. What do you have? 8 points?
Would you have 9 points?
Yeah,
8 points.
Yeah, that's an unbelievable career for Biz. But yeah, he did it in one game. But yeah, unreal guy, great family guy too. I think he's got like, dude, he texted me last night. He knows Oldie well because they have him and Nasher have cottages like 2 minutes down the road from each other up in, I don't even want to say where it is, but they have cottages together, and he sees Oldie all the time. He's like, yeah, first time I ever met him, he was in a bikini with his beanbag hanging out and just like introduced himself like it was normal.
Guys, speaking of Oldie, he's actually live on the beach right now. He wanted to come check in and say hi.
Let's go. Let's go, Jens. You're hotter in the AC. Come out and play with me, Jens. Let's go. Don't be scared of the heat. Let's go, Biz. Wet morning, baby. Let's go.
Hey, Oldie,
who's drunker, him or Chuck?
Hey, these guys are saying that you're going to be a turncoat. Next thing you know, you're going to have a Panthers jersey on. Tell me they're full of shit.
Buddy, kick rocks, buddy. Just like this. Go pound sand. Go pound sand, buddy. Look. Boom, boom, boom. Get your garbage out of here, dude. Bandwagon or this.
Get out of there.
Get in the elbow room.
What's your prediction for tonight, Oldie?
I'm bumping over to the elbow room. 4-2. Buds. Solid 4-2. Buds.
I'm going to need you there in warm-up. I'm going to need you with the Leafs and 7 sign right behind Bob, and I need your pocket pussy staring him right in the face.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Can we see the pocket pussy?
Can we see the six-pack?
Who said a 6, dude?
I don't know if we want to do this right now.
Oldie. Yeah, I know. You never know what you're going to get. Oldie.
No, like we might get a hog shot. Oh, my
God.
Bring it home, Oldie.
Let's go. What up?
I got one question for you.
Talk to me.
Did Biz fly you first class?
I don't know. What happened there?
That's a no.
He doesn't remember.
I was. You know what I was? I was a horseshoe hand grenade. One looking close right out from the window. I was right behind the first class. But you know what? That's what I live for. Stepping up every day. I don't want to be first class. I don't want that shit, dude. Get your garbage out of here. Baby. I'm a bumper. I'm a grinder, bro. Send me in the cargo ship underneath, dude. Think I'm worried about it? You named the place? Name the place. The kid's going to show up. It doesn't matter how you get there. It's about being here. It's about the buds. The Hellies is flying over. We're bumping. We're grinding. The buds is coming out crazy tonight, bud. If you tell me not getting fired up, pound it.
Is that Nylander behind him, dude?
Oh, no. Is that Nylander on the beach beside you?
Knees. Hey, we need you tonight, 8-8. We need you hard. Let's go. Step on the pedal.
If they can't win with this guy in attendance, Biz,
that's what I mean.
This guy is just old.
I'll give up my fandom if they don't win with this guy in attendance.
I'm calling security
Dude.
now.
You call them. You're going to need them. Hey, call a backup, too. Maybe call Walt Disney World to bring their security guards, too. Let's go, dude. Let's go, Leafs. I need all boys buzzing. Listen, if you guys are listening, I need you out there. Look, we got a guy out here. This guy's fired up.
Let's go.
Leafs go.
Who's that, Kane? Is that Patrick Kane?
Leafs go.
Come on, I got that shit tatted on me.
Look, this guy's ink, dude.
Oh, yeah,
this guy's ink. Down
this is
I don't even know this guy. What's your name, bro?
Losers just hanging out.
You're live, Owen.
Let's fucking go, Leafs. Go, Leafs, go.
What's his
Leafs in
prediction?
7.
Owen
This
Barkley.
shit is thick. It's thick down here, boys.
Well,
what's prediction? What's the score?
Score.
I think it's a routing 5-1, fellas. 5-1. Woolars, absolute game tonight. Whoa. Sorry. Say that again.
Stolars, he said Stolars.
Well, he might be. He skated.
He's on Truly Unrulies. He's already fired up out here, buzzing
We don't
with
do
the
Truly.
boys. Dude.
We don't do Truly.
Polarized.
Let's go,
Get him
dude.
some Pink Whitney at the elbow room.
Let's go. Let's say hi to the boys.
Yeah, what's up?
This guy's, what's your name, bro?
Tyler.
Tyler, you're with the boys live. Say what up to Spittin Chiclets.
What's up, Chiclets? Love
Who
you
you
guys.
rooting for tonight?
Who you rooting for tonight?
Panthers all the way.
Yeah.
What's the score? The boys want a score check. Score check.
Can you talk about that shave job of the belly up into the middle of the tits, but then you keep it
Love it. You love it. You love it.
Battery ran out.
Let's go.
Oldie, thanks for popping by. I love it. That's what we needed. That's the way we need.
I'm going to the beach right now. I'm gonna go punch his head in.
Biz, they might win tonight.
That's what
they
I mean.
really might.
Why do you think I sent them there in my lucky shirt? They got no chance. This one's
Biz.
over. We're going back to Toronto.
Whit, I sent Oldie to Welland to mush this guy. Now he's latched on. He's latched on. He thinks he's a part of it. They're done, son. They're done.
There's also a
son.
chance, of a very legit chance, he's not let in to the arena tonight. I mean,
He's getting
puck drops in what, 7 hours? Like, he's going to the elbow room right now. If he even makes it to the game, I think you got a chance. But there's a quality shot that he might not be actually allowed into the building.
Hey, he better be allowed in because he's got a birthday present for Caesar, the guy who've been going at it with online from Florida. So a little bit of a peace treaty before the game, and then it's down to business. I got nothing left to say, boys. Oldie took the words out of my mouth. A little rah before we end this. Let's go Leafs, baby. Let's go.
I will be back at gonna go do my same thing. Pre-game meal at Houston's gonna go there right now. 12:30 reservation, perfect time. So unreal show, boys. Can't wait for tonight. Hey, 2 game 6s tonight.
Oh, no shit. Who's the other one?
The Celtics and the Knicks.
Oh, okay. No shit. All right. Well, good to know. We love you guys.
Thank you so much
for tuning in.
Boys.
Yep. Thank you to you two. Congrats to the Oilers. Congrats to the Canes. We'll see what happens tonight. We'll see what happens tomorrow night. We're back next week on Tuesdays, back to once a week. Thank you for support. What a playoffs it's been. Thank you to Oldie. Thank you to Chuck, who's completely crippled right now, getting a massage. But we love you all. Have a great weekend, everyone. Have a great one.
Go, Leafs, go.